Oh, my biddies. Sorry I'm late. Nothing was going my way this morning. I decided to make myself a lunch, um, poured myself some tea, and it didn't have enough in the jug, so I had to open another one, which usually is really hard, but it wasn't. So if I keel over from cyanide poisoning, it was the tea. Just saying. Um, Made myself a Sammy. Well, my little dish here. Myself a Sammy. I got some chips. Had to open a new bag of chips. Wasn't anticipating that. I got some smoked Gouda, which I thought wasn't open, but some little mouse has been in my Gouda. So I had to hide it somewhere because I bought that for me. I usually get that as a Christmas treat every year. So anyway, I thought today that we would go back and I'm going to be working. So I'm going to be working back and forth and back and forth. Um, I thought we'd go back to, there we go. I hadn't even set it up. I was going to put a whole new spreadsheet, but I decided not to last second. So we're going to go back and go to all the subreddits that we usually visit and find the uh, top um, top post and just read the top post for last year. Usually I do it by month. This time we're going to do it by year. It's kind of a compilation of the top posts of 2025. Good riddance, 2025. You sucked, by the way. So I'm going to be going in and out and in and out and in and out, of course. Um, Putting in dates and times and stuff like that. Well, not the date so much, the time. Um, and then I'm gonna cut it up because I'll have the times. Will be easier for me to edit it out, edit the stuff out of it, and then share it in other areas of the interwebs on all the apps, all the fun apps. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. It'll might take a little longer than usual, but it also is going to be uh shorter than usual too, probably. What else? What else was I gonna say? Not doing a reality roundup. That's for normal you. There was paper on my Gouda. How dare it? Plus, I'm gonna be eating. You guys need to chat. So that's what my plan for the day is. Of course, I still am coughing, so that's gonna add to the stuff. I'm gonna go by our December lineup. I change it every month just to make it different, but some things we always have the same. The middle segments are always real expectation versus reality and real estate. And the last one's always made me smile. But the other ones I kind of switch the order of a little bit, just for some variety. Because who doesn't want variety, right? Variety, the spice of life. Um, Top this year. Yeah, that's one we already saw. Okay, well that's good. That's good that they keep that. So maybe it won't be the top one. Maybe it'll be the second top one because we already read the top one. So entitled people. That's nice. Um, Time is it? 15. This is when I need to take my little bites. Okay. All right, so this is entitled people entitled coworker told HR I was being exclusive for not inviting her to my wedding. This is honestly one of the weirdest work things I've ever dealt with. There's a woman in my office I'm friendly with, but not close to. We've had small talk here and there, nothing deep. No lunches together, no real outside of work connection. She found out I was getting married, and that's when the wedding was. And she straight up asked me if I was invited. I kind of laughed and said, no, oh no, it's really small, just close friends and family. I didn't think of anything of it. She got quiet and a little cold after that, but I figured maybe awkward moment, whatever. Fast forward a few days and I get a meeting invite from HR. Turns out she filed a complaint because I was exclusive and creating a hostile environment by leaving people out. People are not entitled to go to your wedding. I have helped people pick out their wedding invitations and not being invited to their wedding because, like this, we were friendly coworkers, but we were not close. And was I hurt about it? No, not at all. Why? Because we were friendly. We were not friends. She was a very nice person. I liked her a lot. I don't work there anymore, so I don't see her. Um, because I didn't invite her to my wedding that I'm paying for and isn't even work related. So I had to sit in this HR meeting and explain that I am not required to invite coworkers I barely know to my literal wedding. This is a personal event that has nothing to do with work or who's in the office. HR looked just as confused as I was, and they basically said, "Yep, okay, thanks," and closed the case. But now she acts super aggressive, super passive aggressive toward me, like side eyes, doing little digs when I walk by, still bringing up the weird sarcastic comments like, "People are so inclusive these days." I can't believe she's actually thought HR could or what make me invite her. And some people really do think they're the main character. Actually, OP should go to, I mean, this has been 5 months, but she should go to HR. She should go to HR and tell them that she is being harassed by this person now because she does not need to be there. She's not going to, um, if she's going to act like that. And the topmost comment is deleted by monitor. But the answer to that one was definitely there seems like the coworker is heading toward hostile work environment territory, if not already there. What could they have possibly said that was so bad that the moderator had to delete it? Klutzy Contest is the second most top rated answer, and it says, that is one of the strangest things I've read. Your coworker is odd. Who thinks like that? What's next? Does she expect you to have her along on the honeymoon? I'm not invited to your honeymoon. How dare you? Oh, people is crazy. They are crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Okay. Yeah. So next we have mother-in-laws from hell. Oops. Guess I don't need that anymore. Just take 2 picks. Yeah, that takes about a minute, I guess. Actually, 2 posts. One's an update, and they were the top 2 rated for the year. This is from 7 months ago. For mother-in-laws from hell. Mother-in-law tried to make our vacation a family vacation, and now she's mad we canceled ours. Your husband and I have been saving to go on a much-needed vacation and finally booked one for next month. We're so excited. We shared the basic info about it, location, resort, and dates With our immediate family, I started looking into excursions and tours. Everything was perfect. On Sunday, just before family dinner, my sister-in-law and mother-in-law and my sister-in-law and I caught mother-in-law on Expedia with credit card in hand, booking a trip to the same resort at the same time we would be there. Don't do this, people. Your kids need their privacy. They deserve to go on vacation by themselves if they want to. We told DH and he confronted his mother. She said it looked like fun and she wanted to go there too. She said her and my father-in-law discussed it and thought it would be a great idea to book the same vacation for themselves and my sister-in-law and brother-in-law so they can have a well-deserved vacation. Sil and dear husband immediately shut it down, saying they were not invited and cannot invite just themselves. Can I say, oops, they're underneath the green flags for sister-in-law for recognizing this is BS. That they are intruding on our plans. Then cue the waterworks and the victimization from mother-in-law of how we don't want her around. And father-in-law yelled at us for being disrespectful and hurting her feelings and said that you don't control when and where we go somewhere, so deal with it. Okay, we'll go somewhere else then. Sister-in-law confirmed to me that same night that they did, in fact, book the vacation just without Sil and Bill because they refused to go. Good on them. Sil is the nicest person she is, connected us with her friend who's a travel agent. The travel agent was able to find us a cruise that goes to the same location and a few others with a good last minute deal that was less than the original trip. Thankfully, we were able to get a refund on the resort and get flight credits for the flight since the cancellation period hasn't started yet. On Thursday, we saw his parents at our niece's kindergarten graduation. Mother-in-law came to us and tried to get us to book excursions with them. Husband told her that unfortunately we wouldn't be there anymore. We were going to another undisclosed vacation without them with a smug look. Mill called us selfish, and they both keep calling us, and Sil's trying to get information she won't be getting. She's been making passive aggressive posts on Facebook and telling everyone how selfish we are. Oh my goodness. That's so rude. Like, it's one thing to be mad that your son doesn't want to go on vacation with you. And I mean, you can see why they don't want to go on vacation with the in-laws. But to make posts on Facebook about a private family thing like that, holy cow, that's insanity. I got stuff going on. You don't see me posting on Facebook about it. I mean, I don't right now, but I've had things going on. Don't see me posting on Facebook about it. Glint Bladesong says, well played. Totally sucks to be put in that situation, but you got out of it well. She was very lucky that she was able to cancel it. Perhaps a bottle of wine for your sister-in-law. She's earned it if she drinks wine. You understand, of course, you will be the baddie from here on out, don't you? You have ruined mother-in-law's well-deserved vacation, you monster. Do think about occasionally sipping cocktails on the deck of your cruise ship. Does she have a habit of inserting herself into your activities, or is this more recent behavior? And the answer says, I can see her trying to paint me as the bad guy. However, I don't care. There's been a few of these little events happening when she gets mad at me. She will get over it eventually and act like she's my best friend in a few months. To be honest, I've heard from my extended in-laws that she's always been a problem. Edit. Sister-in-law will be rewarded. I'm taking her to a spa with me next weekend. She doesn't know, as it's a surprise. Husband and brother-in-law will be at house on babysitting niece duty. That's nice. It's nice the guys are gonna watch the kids. And then we have the update. Woohoo! Update. So this is from 6 months ago. A month or so ago, I posted about how my mother-in-law tried to hijack husband and I vacation and make it husband and mine. You don't say I vacation, you say my vacation. Husband and my vacation and make it into a family one. We canceled ours, and my angel of a still had a travel agent friend that was able to hook us up with a cruise instead. When my in-laws found out, they started calling us selfish for changing our plans when they wouldn't. We canceled before penalty window. There were a couple of flying monkeys that came at us due to my in laws twisting the story, but whatever. After explaining our side, they went away. The good news is we made it. We were on board and having a blast of a time. Scylla and my parents are the only ones who know where we're at. There were a few calls from father in law demanding we pay half the money they lost. No, that's not how that works. They ended up canceling and had to pay a 50% fee. Why did they cancel? Why not just go? Apparently, we owe it to them because they needed us there with them to be able to navigate everything. What a wuss. They won't see a dime from us. Thank you, everyone, for your kind comments. We have learned our lesson. That's a great update. I'm kind of glad that they lost out on money on that. What a piece of work. See, I don't know how I'm going to do this with these flags. I need a partner just to make notes. I need someone just to make notes for me. Next, we're going to go to what should I do? Today. I itches. I be itchy. Can't read it on the other screen. Wonder. Excuse me, I'm going to look something up real quick. That works. Okay, cool. I got a shortcut. We're all good. All right. This one's from What Should I Do? Entitled, My Girlfriend's Mom Texted Me This Last Night. And I can share it for those who are watching. And it says, Hello. I told you I would lend you some money to get a phone set up in your own name until you can get a job and pay for it on your own. You won't be able to get a job without a working phone. Also, for ID, you should get a passport card. Why? It will help you with that. I will help you with that too, just so you can get on your feet. What the heck? What's that supposed to mean? Not sure if I should accept this help. And if so, I don't know how I should respond. I'm 19. I don't understand why you need a passport card. You don't. You just need a license. If you don't have a license, you can get an ID. This looks just like a license. At least in my state, it looks just like a license. Somebody says they seem caring. Why wouldn't you accept? Because there's always ulterior motives when somebody's paying for stuff for you. Everybody's saying that's cool. I wonder if there's any updates because I mean it's nice. I would probably do it at some point for somebody. Somebody said they gave a 14-year-old a phone because his parents couldn't afford it, and they already had one on their plan. So that's nice. He says, "My life is crap, and I'm not used to unconventional help, I guess, so I didn't want this to be seen. I don't also didn't wanna be seen this way, to be honest. I wanna accept this help, but I don't know how to respond." Say thank you. Say, "Yes, I would love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for being such a kind person." That's what you say to that. That is what you say to that. Yeah, hopefully this woman doesn't have ulterior motives, and hopefully she's just being really, really nice. I'm jaded from the from Reddit. I'm jaded, so sometimes most people are perfectly nice, but you get used to people being not nice that it just ruins you for all people. Next, we're gonna do malicious compliance. Okay, I'm not okay because I haven't done what I need to do yet. We haven't read this one yet because it was from 10 months ago, but it looks awfully familiar. It's weird. Okay, malicious compliance. Boss said we must take lunch at 12, so we did. At my old job, we used to have a flexible lunch breaks at work. You could go between 11:30 and 2, just make sure somebody was covering, worked fine. New manager comes in. Of course, it's the new manager. It's always the new manager, isn't it? Everyone must take lunch at exactly 12 o'clock, no exceptions. Okay, then 12 o'clock hits, we all just walk away. Phones ringing, customers mid sentence, not our problem. Boss looks panicked trying to handle it all. By the time we got back, it was a complete mess. The next day, new lunch rule. Lunch between 11:30 and 2 is fine. Okay, so back to normal. Cool, boss. So if you're a manager, don't come in and set down new rules day one. Probably not day two or day three either. Probably wait a couple months. Oh my goodness. Around for everyone says the lesson here for new managers is don't make any changes for a while. What did I just say? Whatever the reason, the previous person leaving or the post position opening up, let the inmates run the asylum for a bit, learn their habits, their abilities, their commitment, their personalities, etc. Then use that information to adjust schedules, priorities, and responsibilities. Just sit back and observe for a while. Exactly. Just sit back and watch. They've been doing this, they know what they're doing. Okay. Walking in and changing things on the first day, week, just reeks of superiority and entitlement, and it do. Get to know the company and the team before doing a thing other than figuring out where the kitchen and restrooms are. And I mean, I am a person that will go in and say, why are we doing it this way? Why aren't we doing it that way? And maybe there's a reason for it, and maybe there's not. But you don't do that in the first couple months. You let things run the way they've been running for a while. And then when you see things that might be able to improve, you say, let's try it this way for a week. See how it goes. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we can go back the other way tomorrow, even, you know. But some people get it seems like some people just get it in their head. They get a position of authority and they not necessarily abuse it, but they don't think about it. So I might be done with the sandwich soon, I promise. It's salami, in case you're wondering. This is from AITAH, and it says, "Fired Fed. I'm considering cutting off every Orange Man supporter." So we're getting a little political here, and that's okay. We can do that. Um, I mean, I'm totally on this guy's side. Uh, I have friends and relatives that are in the same boat. So, got axed, not going to say which agency. I've always considered myself extremely tolerant and willing to love people as they are, even if they don't agree on everything. I've never been an Orange Man supporter, but have kept it civil with friends and family that were. Now, that was probably my first mistake. Some of them like having a civil conversation about them. Some were belligerent about politics, so we didn't bring it up. And I tried to enjoy each other's company. Getting cut from a great job that I really believed in with no notice has been extremely traumatic. I can imagine getting cut from any job, even when you're expecting it, can be traumatic. It's still raw, but I feel so personally betrayed by those that voted for him. And can I add also the people who didn't bother to vote? Because I'm mad at you too. I can't see past the politics anymore. When I look at these people I cared about. Some have been contrite and apologetic, but then turn around and support him and VP Musk on social media. I just can't right now. I'm thinking about posting something and wishing the whole herd of the all the best. Hope they have a good life, but I won't be in it. Or maybe I just quietly block all of them and focus on myself for a while. That sounds like a good solution, especially when you're so upset that you can't be civil about it even. I do know that I will need to talk to my in-laws. I've always had a great relationship with them, but thinking of going to their house and watching Fox News almost makes me sick. AITH for feeling this way. No, you're never the a-hole for feeling your feels. Everybody feels. It's okay to feel. It's good to feel. If you're not feeling, that's a problem. Does it make me the AH for cutting off all these 20 plus year relationships off? I'm overreacting and acting out of emotion. Dude, I have had lifelong, what's that, 10 years ago, 50-year relationships that were cut off before. I didn't cut them off, they cut me off, but I've had 50-year relationships that have been cut off because of this man. It's sad. It's really sad. Constantly curious says just withdraw right now and stick to those you find you'll you will comfortable around. Okay, I don't know what that means. Then see how you feel when it isn't so raw. Yeah, I agree. Oddly appeased says I agree. I'm nervous about my job well. My agency has a bit longer of a grace period, so to speak, but I'm not sure what's going to happen after a few short months. I wonder if I hope this guy's okay. I mean, it could be a girl. They don't have a I wonder if they have any more posts. No, this is their only post. This is probably a throwaway for them. And that's fine. Um, but yeah, I understand the sentiment. As a matter of fact, my husband said the other day that maybe he gets too emotionally involved in politics and always has, but um he said maybe I should just not talk to the people that just cut off the people that support Trump because I can't do it anymore. It's driving me nuts. And he has like dropped some people off of his Facebook and stuff. And I have too, because they just won't take no for an answer and they won't shut up about it when it's appropriate to have asked them. Like, hey, I just got some really bad news. Can we not talk about this right now? No, they won't shut up about it. And then they bully you on top of it. So no, I don't need you in my life. Go away. I don't like bullies at all. Oops, I forgot to shoot. Hold on, I forgot to do something. So this is going to take a little longer than normal. Actually, I forgot to do two things. Did that one. Okay. Yay me. I feel really bad for the federal workers who've lost their jobs because of this ban. And now the unemployment is so bad and they're not reporting it correctly. So people think they're going to get it if someone loses their job, they think they can just go out and get a new job like it was like 2 years ago. You can't. So just be warned on that. Jobs are not easy to come by right now. Oh my, this one looks good. Okay, it's from Neighbors from Hell, and it's entitled "Just Moved to Our New Home. Neighbor vandalized car and already called the city on us." Hopefully, they didn't deserve this. We just bought a new house and knew the previous owner. We knew they had problems with the neighbor across the street, Gary, like having the city call and complain about weeds and so on. We dismissed it thinking it was probably valid. Met all the other neighbors and they're super nice and helpful and agree Gary is crazy and a big pain in the butt. We spent 2 months in renovating the house before moving in and had a waste management dumpster bag out front holding miscellaneous debris. We moved in less than a week after moving in. We got a visit from the city inspector citing us for blight. She was apologetic, explaining the single baseboard that was outside of the bag needed to be put inside. I was so shook and confused about getting a citation. She just explained, I can't tell you who the neighbor is, but the previous owners would have this neighbor complain a lot. I've been to this house a lot, so I'm sorry. So don't do it. Stop doing it. Stop doing that. If somebody complains and you know that they're a problem, you can ignore them. You can. I talked to the other neighbors we know, and they vented about him saying it was ridiculous. All right, no problem. We can deal with this. Our niece is staying with us and had a friend stay the night. They parked across the street in front of Gary's house. When they went to leave the next morning, their front passenger tire was flat and the valve stem core was missing. Okay, that's vandalism. Maybe you should call the cops on Gary. They stupidly drove to get air in it and got the core replaced. My stupidly's in quotes. Yeah, don't drive on a flat tire, dude. you you can get someone you probably know knows how to replace a core, and they can just pump it up right there. There are pumps you can buy that you can carry around with you. My niece called me to let me know what happened, and I mentioned it to my neighbor, Nicole. She made a saying, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, that's Gary." I went over immediately and she told me this story. A few years ago, Gary's next door neighbor, renters, had their adult daughter living with them. The adult daughter parked in front of Gary's house one night. The next morning, Nicole was outside chatting with another neighbor when the daughter, distraught, says her tire is flat. They look and the valve stem core is missing. Hmm. She's panicked because she thought she was going to be late to work. So the other neighbors helped her get her tire inflated and fixed. Nicole said it was such an odd thing to happen because these parts don't just fall out. It has to be physically removed with a tool or gizmo. Fast forward to yesterday. I go to Nicole's house and talk to her husband, her and her husband. He had a picture of the car parked at Gary's, thinking it was a car from a Verbo down the street and was worried something would happen, not knowing it was my niece's friend. In the photo, you can see she's not illegally parked. She's perfectly legal on the street. We have no proof it was Gary, but obviously the suspect it was him. Suspect it was him. My spouse and I are so mad, and I'm petty as hell. So my current plan is to file a police report, document it, have the police talk to Nicole and her husband, and set up the night vision cameras and set up for the next night vision cameras. I think is what that should be. Money I can buy and I can afford to cover all my aspects of my yard, plus get some for Nicole's house. What else should we do? New Nobody says, sounds like outdoor cameras should be your next investment. I would also look at what citations can be called on Gary's house and flip the script on him. Time to get a neighborhood watch together and have everyone aware of Gary. This These people don't get. You need to do unto others as they have done unto you. Yeah. Modified golden rule: do unto others as they intend to do unto you, but do it first. No, that's not cool. I don't like that. I would start reporting him for every violation I could find. Don Vago says, get some dash cams for your car that have optical motion sensors or parking mode, and then park outside Gary's house. Yes. I wonder if there's an update. Oh, this guy has lots of posts. Lots and lots of posts. Okay, there's no update. Yeah, there's no update on that. That's very interesting. Yeah, Gary needs to go. Why are people like Gary? I don't understand it. I do not understand it at all. Why you gotta be like that? It can be. What enjoyment do you get out of being so mean to people? So ridiculously stupid to people. This is from Benign Existence, and it's entitled, My Fiance's Gamer Friends Were Saying Hi Back to Me the Whole Time. My fiance plays games with a group of his buddies, and I'll typically say, Who are you playing with? And he'll say their names. I repeat the names back to him because it helps me remember the names. So I'll go to something like me. Who are you playing with? Him. Guy A, Guy B. Me. Hi, Guy A, Guy B. Now, this was purely for me to remember names. I don't know. I didn't know they could hear me. Apparently, they can, and they've been saying hi back to me every time I do through my fiance's headphones. Now he lets me listen when I say hi and get a little chorus of hi back, and it's adorable. Oh, that's so sweet. Compost Spare says, little gamer guys inside the computer waddling around saying hi. Hmm. I guess I need to go look at the latest season of Black Mirror because it has something to do with that. When my son is gaming with his friends, I always say goodnight to him. I get a chorus of good nights back because it always makes me happy. Violent Femme says, I watch a particular streamer on Twitch. Third one come out. He streams in the evening after his kids are in bed, and often his wife will come in and say goodnight to him as he heads to bed too. As she heads to bed too. I can't see the Twitch chat, but as they're saying goodnight, a whole chat lights up with strangers across the globe saying goodnight to her. And it's always so cute and wholesome. That's nice. Okay. Going to evil buildings. All right, evil buildings. Sharing. This is called Kalyazin RT64. This is a this is clearly a radar dish. Does that count as a building or a structure? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Building or structure? What do you think? So on their information. Saturn the Dawn says if you point this array at the sun, you can then amplify a broadcast across space and, for example, alert Trisol- Tris- Trisolarian fleet to humanity's location. But that's the top one for the year. Really annoying. Really annoying cough. Oh my, this is a lot. Gotta go to post instead of oral. Do this. Okay. This final update was the top post for last year. It's going to be a long one, guys. There's a post in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 updates. So buckle in. Oops. Just realized the one above it is the date, not the time. We'll go with that. 1 out of 2. Okay, now we're going to redo that one. Okay, this is from Just No Mother-in-Law. Mother-in-law moved in and now I can't wait to move out, but will it will leave her and my fiance in a serious financial bind. I'm not sure that's your problem, OP, if she's that bad. Me, female 29, and my ex, question mark, fiance, male 27, has been living together for about 1.5 years. Fiance got his undergraduate degree and worked for a couple of years and decided to get an MBA, which is how he ended up in our city. We moved in together after he finished his MBA program. Fiance is from the Midwest, and his mother has always wanted him to move back. When he told her he was staying here, she was heartbroken. I went to college and got my degree in a STEM field. After I graduated, I got a job in my current company and I moved to the city where we currently live. It's a big international company with multiple locations in the US and international. I love my job. I like the company I work for, and the pay is pretty good. All in all, a pretty good deal. During COVID, my office shut down and we all went work from home. After COVID, they decided not to reopen this office, so I've been 100% work from home since 2022. Or sorry, since 2020. I currently make considerably more than him, mainly because I've been working for 7 years in tech. I had been living by myself in a one-bedroom apartment and just had my office set up in the living room since it was just me. When we moved in together, we decided to get a two-bedroom apartment so I could use the extra room as an office. Because of this, I was paying two-thirds of the rent and he paid one-third. We split everything else 50-50. Which is silly if you ask me. Yes, bonus stream, Lord. We're doing the top Reddit reads for the year, or second top if we've already read them. I think it's silly that one person has to pay two-thirds of the rent because they're using one extra room. That's silly. I'm not saying that they shouldn't pay a little bit more, but two-thirds because you're using one extra room in the house? No, not cool. So the problem started this past May. Fiance's mom told him she wanted to move our city to be closer to him. She asked if she could stay with us while she looked for a job and got settled. She's a teacher, so I figured she'd be able to get a teaching job pretty quickly. Because of that, I didn't really mind her staying with us, as I figured it would just be for a couple of months over the summer. Since I thought it would only be for a couple of months, I moved my office into the corner of our bedroom, and Fiance bought a bed to put in the second bedroom. The problem is she never applied for teaching jobs and is living with us for 6 months now. She and I have really been struggling with each other since she moved in. I can't make her understand that I work full time. She constantly interrupts while I'm working, which is bad enough, but she even interrupts when I'm on Teams calls. Lock your door, close and lock your door. She always asks me to take her to places because she doesn't like to drive in our city. So she can take an Uber. Oh, wait, she doesn't have any money. She has pretty outdated views of gender roles and is constantly giving me a hard time for not doing more around the house and making fiance help with chores, do his own laundry, etc. The constant criticism and insults are just wearing me down, and I hate having my office shoved in a corner of the bedroom. Back in September, I told my fiance that since it looks like his mom is going to stay a while, we should split the rent 3 ways. That seems reasonable. He told me she can't afford that, so she has to conserve money until she gets a job. I told him I wasn't really happy paying for an extra bedroom I can't use, so finally he said we would do a 50-50 split. I could afford to pay the extra, but I hate the idea of funding her lifestyle. Yeah, no kidding. It should be 3 ways because there's 3 people there. Every time I complain about her or the situation, he agrees but doesn't know what to do because he can't kick his mom out. He won't talk to her about the way she treats or how she behaves. When I ask what the long-term plan is, he just says he doesn't know. I've thought about giving him an ultimatum to tell her she has to leave, but I think he'll just end up resenting me for essentially putting his mom on the street. Yeah, or you'll resent him for not putting his mom on the street. So one of my girlfriends is losing her roommate at the end of February. Our lease renews in June 1st. I'm strongly considering moving out of our current apartment and moving in with her. I can afford to pay my part of the rent on our current apartment and also half the rent on my friend's apartment. It's not ideal, but I'm not a big spender, so it's doable. The issue is if he and his mom aren't able to pay for one-third of the rent, there is now no way they could ever cover the whole thing on their own. but I can't live like this anymore. So I'm pretty sure this is what I'll do. But I wanted to see other thoughts. um, it's not your responsibility if they can pay their rent or not. That's their responsibility. They can't pay the rent. The rent's due. They're it's up on June 1st. They can move. They can move to a less expensive apartment. They can share a bedroom somewhere since they want to be so close. Fruity Jerk says NTA. Your happiness doesn't seem to be their problem, so I don't see why their financial comfort should be yours. 100%. Intelligent Exit says, stop asking him what the plan is. Ask her what the plan is. Give her a deadline. He has no say in the matter. Your name is on the lease, your rules. She needs to pay her share 1/3 through whatever date you set. Okay, update number 1 a year ago. Don't know how many months later or weeks or whatever. So I guess it's been a week. It's been about a week. She says, I posted here last week about the situation I'm living in with my soon to be ex fiance, if anyone is interested. And she gives a link to the post. It's long, guys. This is going to take forever. I started off by trying to reply to everyone's comments and keep up, but honestly, I just got completely overwhelmed with all the comments. I don't think anybody expects anyone to keep up with the barrage of comments when they get them. I think that pretty much I make a comment. I don't expect the OP to answer, especially if I'm making a comment and not asking a question. If I'm asking a question, maybe, but if I'm making a comment, I don't expect anybody to answer it. First off, I want to thank everyone for their feedback and comments, even the ones that were kind of harsh. Actually, probably especially the ones that were kind of harsh. I needed some tough love to make me realize that I was letting my soon to be ex and his mom take advantage of me. The more comments I read, the more pissed off I got. Honestly, I think I'm more pissed off for myself for allowing this to happen and not advocating for myself more. This past weekend, I got my soon to be ex alone so we could talk, which actually harder than it should have been because his mom always tries to tag along with everything. Going through all the comments everyone left in the uh, private messages people sent really helped me decide how to approach this and also brought up a lot of good questions I should have thought of myself. Back to the discussion with the ex. I wanted to give him one more chance to pick us over his mom, and not because I thought he would, but just because to be able to tell himself I gave the opportunity. I explained about again about how unhappy I am with the situation, how it's affecting my work because of her constant interruptions and just being unhappy and uncomfortable that I'm forced to work out of the corner of our bedroom. And I reminded him that until a few months ago I was paying the majority of the rent, and being that I make so much more than him, it's really my salary that keeps us afloat. And I also brought up again the way she treats me and talks to me, and he replied the same way he's been. He agrees it's not right how she acts, and that's really uncomfortable for us all. WTF, I don't even care if she's uncomfortable. Previously, I would have dropped it there, but this time I told him how angry and disappointed I was that he let me pay for 2/3 of the rent when she first moved in, and how fair it was that I'm still paying for half when there are 3 people living there and she's the only one with her own bedroom. It was the same story. She has to conserve money since she doesn't have an income currently. Whose fault is that? She hasn't applied to anywhere. She's been there for 6 months and she hasn't even tried to get a job. It was the same story. Okay, there we go. Which brought up the question of where her stuff went when she moved. What money does she use for incidentals? So evidently she got divorced. She asked for a divorce after my ex went off to college. It doesn't sound like her husband, ex's dad, wanted the divorce. His dad bought her out of the equity of their house. Ex didn't have any idea how much it was or how much is left. But until she moved, she was working full time as a teacher and living in a small apartment, so she should not have to tap into the divorce settlement money very much. Other than that, X didn't have much insight into her finances other than what she told him and that she has to conserve money. I told him straight up that I'm moving out at the end of the month. And from now on, I'm only paying 25%. As some of the commenters pointed out, she has a whole bedroom while I have to share with a man child. So she should have to pay twice as much. And after I move out, I'm not paying for anything else. No utilities, no food, nothing other than rent. I have a pretty I have a pretty good idea of what his finances are like. And if he has to pay 75% of the rent all by himself, it's going to take a huge chunk of his net income. And after he pays utilities and buys groceries, there won't be anything left for incidentals. Rent was due at the first, but it's not late until after the fifth, so he has 2 days to come up with the money. If he doesn't come up with it and I end up covering him, then I'm reducing the amount I pay in future months. um, if you're on the lease, you're responsible for the money, whether he pays or not, unfortunately. The only reason I'm going to keep paying any of the rent after I move out is I'm still on the hook. I talked to the leasing office and they explained that since X and I signed a single rental agreement together, exa- example, one contract we both signed as opposed to two contracts we signed individually, we're both responsible for the rent. And that is correct. They don't care who pays as long as it gets paid. The only alternative would be if he agrees to sign a new lease by himself or together with his mom. But in all likelihood, he wouldn't be able to pass the credit check on his own, so I'm kind of stuck. I don't think he'll do anything stupid though, because he's going to need to find some place to live after this, and a collection on his credit report would not be good. I also told him that I'm going to find some place to work during the day until I move out, so she can't bother me. My friend I'm moving in with said I could work there during the day since she and her current roommate have in-person 9 to 5s. I took her up on that for now. After living with his mom, I'm not about to overstay my welcome, so I'm going to find some other option that I can rotate through, though. Someone suggested checking out the public library or if it comes to it, get a membership at one of those WeWork kind of places, just in case I brought my important papers, files, valuables, and my friend is storing them with me until I move in. Good idea. He really didn't take it well. The surprising thing to me was he's surprised by everything. Oh my gosh. This is a divorce coming out of nowhere moment. He really he seemed really shocked that I wasn't prioritizing his mom. I really got the feeling that since he sincerely believed I wanted to take care of her as much as him, and he kept saying stuff like, "What about my mom? What am I going to tell her? That's how she is, but we still need to keep to help her, etc." He asked about our relationship and engagement. I told him after I move out, I need some space from him. In a few months, when we both had some space to process what happened, if we both agree, we can talk about the relationship. But he'd have to prove that he's going to have my back going forward and will set boundaries with his mom. I told him that just to avoid more drama, but I don't see a future in which we're together. I told him he needs to tell his mom that she's not my responsibility or problem and she'll know something's up when I start moving my stuff out. He hasn't told her what's going on yet, but this weekend I'm going to start moving things, so he really doesn't have much time. My friend's current roommate starts a job in another state on the 3rd, so in reality, I can probably move in 2 or 3 weeks, it just depending on when she actually leaves. I don't expect him to do anything bad other than sulk and complain. But if he does something stupid or doesn't pay his part of the rent, the ace is up my sleeve, as I'll tell the leasing office his mom moved in, which is prohibited on the lease. Honestly, getting evicted would solve a lot of my problems right now, so it's really pretty valid threat, I think. Now that I've mentally and emotionally separated myself from him and his mom, I'm looking forward to her reaction when he tells her what's going on. If it gets too ugly, I'll find a cheap Airbnb or hotel or something. I've had some friends, including one I'm moving in with, offer to let me couch surf for a few weeks, but I just can't do that to somebody else. So that's it. I'm leaving and I really don't care how it affects them. Comment from Needs More Coffee. Can relate to Needs More Coffee. They totally took advantage of your goodwill and now karma will bite them in the ass for it. Good riddance. And the second is from Tattooed Bagel and it says, "This internet stranger is proud of you. It's always so irritating when men are surprised that you meant what you said about how you feel. Like, surprise, words mean things. Way to get on your own side and stay there. One of the sexiest things about my husband said to me when we were dating is I don't give a dang what my mom thinks, but I'm firm with loving eye contact, LOL. I was fretting about her being upset over oversharing our holiday time with my mom as well, and the potential issues her feelings might create. Everyone who wants one deserves a spouse who puts them first, and that forsaking all others part of the traditional vows is not about stepping out romantically. Yes, but also about prioritizing your spouse above people who are not your spouse. Mother-in-laws don't have a special exemption from all others." Exactly. True, 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 true. Next update. Oh, wait a minute, maybe it's not. No, that's the same update. Next update. Uh, Mother-in-law moved in and I finally moved out. Hi everyone, I've been getting a lot of requests for an update, so I want to let everyone know how it went when X's mom found out about me not covering all the rent and moving out. It was kind of a crap show. Last week I started working out of my friend's office, so this is a week later, the one I'm moving in, so I didn't see X's mom on Monday. Tuesday around lunch, she sent me a text asking where I was. I told her I was working and be home late tonight. She replied that X told her I wasn't going to be contributing as much, so she had to loan him money for rent. That wasn't a surprise to me, so I just replied with a thumbs up emoji. I had plans with my friend and her roommate, who I'm also friends with, to go out to dinner and get some drinks. So by the time I got home, it was after midnight and X's mom was already asleep. The fun started Wednesday morning. I was getting ready to go to work at my friend's place when my mom stopped me and said, "We need to discuss my financial situation." I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm not related to you in any way, shape, or form. Your financial situation is not my problem. Then when she went on a whole tirade about her having to cover my part of the rent, my part of the rent. Dude, you've been living there for 6 months for free. Don't even. Me making foolish choices by going out to dinner when I couldn't even pay rent. It's not that she can't, it's that she's not. I was irresponsible with money and inconsiderate of the impact on others, blah, blah, blah. She went on to say that if she was going to have to pay my share of the rent, that she expected me to do a better job of keeping on top of the chores and keeping the apartment clean and organized. I told her I was moving out since obviously soon to be ex hadn't told her. She seemed, I don't know, pleased with herself. All she had to say was, maybe that's for the best. Oh, what a bitch. I hate this woman. When I got home that night, right off the bat, she wanted to talk. So instead of me moving out, we could go to a bigger apartment. She said she'd be willing to help by paying the difference between a 2 bedroom and a 3 bedroom. Then we could go back to the arrangement X and I had before she moved in, me paying 2/3 of the balance and him paying a third. No, that's not fair anyway. There are common areas in the house, right? Honestly, she was saying this. I think my brain vapor locked. She was making it sound like she was doing us a favor by offering to pay the increase in rent. Apparently, this man child who tells his mother every single thing about our lives and relationship hadn't bothered to tell his mom how much I was actually contributing. So he overshares and yet undershares at the same time. It seems like once she discovered the ex wasn't paying for everything like she thought, she wasn't as excited about me moving out. I tried to be polite and told her I'd already given notice to our apartment complex that I was moving out at the end of the month and already committed to moving in with my friend. She kept pushing the issue and I said if she was willing to pay the difference, I should stay because that would really be the best for everyone. You just said that would be the best if she moved out. Dude, pick a lane. Pick a lane, stay in it. And then I was getting annoyed and told her that because of the way she has been acting and treating me, I had no interest in living with her anymore. That's when the best line, the whole dumpster fire, came out of her mouth. She said she was worried I was taking advantage of her son, and that if we had told her about our financial arrangement, she would have been more understanding of why I wasn't keeping up the apartment. Like it's not his job to do that too. I told her maybe a good lesson from this is to try to be nice to everyone in the future and not just the people you think you can help or think can help you. I asked for her why she didn't help out more since she wasn't doing anything productive all day. She did not like either of those comments and got pretty hostile with both of us yelling at each other. And to be fair, we both said some pretty awful things to one another. So what happens when things get heated? I finally told her I was going to inform the rental office that she had been living there contrary to the lease agreement because getting evicted would be worth it to see her living on the street. I grabbed my laptop and went to my friend's. I didn't even bother packing an overnight bag. The next afternoon, Thursday, X texted me and said he had added his mom to the lease effective the first of the month, and that she and his dad, I have no idea how that poor man got roped into this, would pay half the rent and X would pay the other half. I confirmed with the property manager that I was off the lease and didn't have any further obligation. I got it in an email, so I have a record. Good. I put disconnect orders for the utilities under my name and told him to call up and set utilities under his name. I'm not going to lose the damage deposit. It goes to whoever is living there when the lease ends, but it's a small price to pay to be free. On the way home, I stopped and got a bunch of boxes to pack my stuff up. She was pretty hostile when I got home, and when she saw how much I was taking, she got worse. I ended up taking Friday off to finish packing on Saturday, and on Saturday got some friends to move stuff to my new place. I'm going to pay my friend some rent for the next 2 weeks until the one moves out. They didn't want me to, but I'm not going to stay in someone's house and not contribute. If it, nothing else, living with the ex and his mom taught me that. Last night, ex and I got together and talked for the first time since Saturday. He said his mom is staying until June when the lease is up and then she's moving back to their hometown. According to him, she just didn't really like living here and that's why she didn't try to find a job. So she should have moved out 3 months ago at least. Then he asked how long a break I thought we should take. A few commenters gave me a hard time for stringing him along, so I was brutally honest, and I told him I could not be with someone that allowed others to treat me the way he allowed his mom to treat me, and that I hoped he learned to stand on his own and establish some boundaries. He looked like he was going to cry and just got up and left. Sir is experiencing the consequences of his own actions. As far as I'm concerned, this whole is over and done. I'm going to call it a learning experience and be glad I found out how awful his ex's mom is before we got married. Yes, that's what exactly how you should do it. Don't worry about sunk cost fallacies. Just be glad you found out before you tied the knot. The thing that amazes me is the amount of damage this woman leaves in her wake and how utterly oblivious she is. She destroyed our engagement and relationship and is leaving ex in a much worse financial situation. Pushed back on her ex-husband's retirement by I don't know how many years since he likely has to pay off the mortgage or the second mortgage he had to get to pay her half the equity. And she made my life hell for 6+ months and she's walking away completely unscathed. According to my ex, she's going back to her hometown and picking up her old teaching job. She's probably a terrible teacher too. Yeah, I'm being judgy now. I can do that. That's what we're here for. I'm thinking about going to visit my parents next week and working from their house. I want to tell them how boring and undramatic they are. And I'm so grateful and I love them for it. And they will be glad to hear it. Because boring, what did she say? Boring and undramatic is the best way to be as parents. Crinkly Toe says mother in law sounds very narcissistic. Perhaps she is someone who enjoys causing problems, breaking up relationships, causing job losses, i.e., destroy lives if she's a sociopathic level, maybe. Baruka says, you put on an absolute masterclass on how to handle this situation. Your post should be pinned in the sub. You said what you meant and followed through on it all, and he had ample opportunity to make things right. Good on you. Please update when you finally get the one that deserves you. We're all a little invested in your life now. Hugs. Okay, that's awesome. I don't know why they're double. So, this is 7 months ago, so it's been at least 5 months after she moved out. I haven't posted here because honestly, there hasn't been any real drama or updates since my last post, but I have had several people DM me asking for an update. So I thought I'd let everyone know how it turned out. If you haven't seen it all, you can find the history in my profile. After I moved out of my ex and my place, I did end up going to visit my parents for a while. It was really just to give the girl whose lease I was taking over space to get her stuff packed up and moved out. It was great to visit my parents, and they were really supportive about everything and the choices I made. Could I just say green flags for mom and dad? Mom and I spent a whole Sunday afternoon on the couch watching awful Hallmark movies while dad fed us way too many mojitos. Hallmark movies. No, thank you. There are better things to watch than Hallmark movies. Even reality TV is better than Hallmark movies. I've been living with my friend for about 4 months and everything has been going great. I feel like we're both super respectful and considerate of each other, and it's made everything easy and chill. After dealing with my ex's mom for so long, I was kind of in shock not to have all the drama and toxicity. Nice break. That would be a nice break. I did hear from ex's mom 3 times after I moved out. First time she texted to ask if I'd taken the air fryer. I did. It was mine. Then she texted a couple of weeks ago asking me to give her a ride to the pharmacy to pick up her prescriptions. And then she texted me once last time telling me I need to pay my part of the utilities for the last month I lived there. I ignored her for the first 2 times, and the last time I responded that she should either use the money she saved while I was covering her rent or use the money they get back from the damage deposit. It's been crickets since then. I did see my ex excuse me. Okay. I did see my ex one last time about 6 weeks ago. He found some of my stuff I'd accidentally left behind, so we met up so he could give it to me. I was glad we met up because it convinced me I'd done the right thing. I didn't feel anything when I saw him except for relief that I didn't have to deal with his mom anymore. He asked me if I'd be willing to give it another try if he'd put boundaries in place with his mom. Honestly, I was honest and told him that I didn't see him that way anymore and did not want to get back together. He looked like he expected that answer and didn't make a fuss. He did say after I left stuff, his mom got pretty tense. I guess they were financially tight financially, which I knew they would happen. There is an animal outside. I don't have my glasses. Oh, I think it's just a cat. Just a big cat, a really big cat. uh, okay. I guess things were tight financially, which I knew would happen, and she was upset that due to his job, he couldn't drive her around and cater to her needs. He said she ended up going back to their hometown at the beginning of May, which was the final month of their lease. He said he was going to move back also once the lease was up because his friends were all in the middle of leases and already had roommates. He didn't want to live with a stranger, and the only apartments he could afford on his own were studios in really sketchy areas. So he's going to go back home and live with his dad. He didn't have a job there yet, but he figured it was the safest option. So now he's going to use his dad like his mom used him. He's got his MBA and almost a couple of years work experience since graduating, so he's hoping that it'll help him find a new job reasonably quickly. I kind of feel really bad for him because he loves it here, and his hometown isn't awesome. I didn't feel too bad though, because it's really his own fault everything ended up this way. He didn't say how or what his mom was doing, and I didn't ask. I haven't seen him or heard from him since then. I was pretty clear that I wasn't interested in trying again, and I don't want to be friends as I just don't need the drama. I've been on a couple casual dates, but I'm really not looking for anything right now. I'm just enjoying hanging out with friends, taking advantage of the summer, going hiking and stuff. I've spent some time reflecting on everything. I think if I'd been more vocal early on or stood up for myself, insisted that she pay rent and not letting her overstay, that maybe all this could have been avoided, but I'm glad I don't have to deal with her anymore. So I'm content with how things ended up. Cheers and be well. Honestly, if she hadn't done that, she would have got married to this guy and then had to get a divorce because of the mother. Most likely, because she ain't gonna change. So that is that. Good for you, LP. I'm glad things are going well. I hope you find the man of your dreams because, girl, you deserve it after that. What a terrible mother in law. All right. Last one from Retail Hell, shall we? I need a bite because that one long. Okay, this is from Retail Hell. It's entitled Customer Swears I Didn't Give Him a Receipt Only for His Wife to Bring It In. I had a guy buy a thermometer. It didn't work, so he brought it back. I told him the two of us here, can't do a no receipt return, but if he waited 30 minutes, our coworker would be back from break and he could do it. He insisted I didn't give him a receipt, insisted I was a liar when I said I did give him a receipt. A minute into his rant about me being a lying bitch who doesn't want to give him his money back, in comes his wife, waving the receipt in the air. Dave, you forgot the receipt. They need it to do a return. Wang you, Dave. Update. Dave's wife came in to apologize for his behavior. Apparently, being 65 and having an off day is an excuse to being a dick to cashiers. The manager told her if he behaves like that again, he'll be banned from the store. Pristine Reward says, well, this just got awkward now, didn't it, Dave? Snuffy says, you have to wonder if this wife is so unhappy that she secretly revels in helping her husband eat so much crap in public. Well, if he treats her the way she treats cashiers, who knows? Maybe. Maybe she does it on purpose. That would be kind of funny and petty. Okay. Oops. Yeah. One more thing here. All right. This is from Infuriating, and it's entitled Quit My Job Because My Entire Work GC was literally bullying this homeless woman. I quit my work because the entire work GC, I don't know what that means. General contract, I don't know. The entire work GC, I quit my job because the entire work GC started literally bullying this poor homeless woman outside our restaurant. I literally am so wanging disgusted at how people like this exist. I would like to clarify. I have been getting scheduled 1 day a week for the past 2 months. Literally, my last paycheck was $93, so I had nothing to lose by quitting. Plus, I have another job lined up. But I'm genuinely baffled, low key lost hope for humanity by this. Also, for the context of how we know she's homeless, the night before, one of my coworkers leaving the restaurant sent a video of her sleeping on these couches outside and left her. And then the next day, these photos, she was sitting there. Instead of calling the police or asking if she's all right, they did this and moved the couches. I get lawyering laws and crap, but this was straight up bullying and wanging inhumane. To talk about a person struggling like this, I'm not even sensitive or soft, but Jesus, bro, the jokes weren't even funny and it was just wanged up. Also, please let me know if you guys think I can report these chats to like a higher up or something because I don't know how that would work since it was a big percent of the workers plus the manager. I don't know. I know someone who got everybody but herself and the bartender fired from their jobs once. So there's some kind of video, obviously, that we can't play because it's just a screenshot. It says bestie and a smile. You laugh in the background. Look at it. Look at it, and it's oh my! They called her an it, which means they're dehumanizing her. Look at it in its natural habitat. Trying to get the angles. If that doesn't get you guys to vote for somebody, manager. to vote for manager. To be number one, I don't know what will. Pizza is so good, the gas never leaves. And they quote the natural habitat thing and says, I'm crying. And then they quote the voting thing and says, bro, and laughing, crying emojis. It says, face card captured. Oh, not the face I expected, cutie. Guys, what should we name it? She's a person. She has a name. She's had a name since birth. I want to park in the front and ask her if everything's okay. You should ask if everything's okay, but stop laughing about it. The boy's moving the couch. LMAO, they on it fast. And then somebody says, let's not be cruel, guys. She could be struggling and or homeless. So let's comment with the comment. You never know what's going on in somebody's life. Somebody else says, I 100% agree. This was completely inappropriate, and I am uncomfortable continue being employed at this restaurant, so I'm no longer working here. It costs nothing to be kind or to help others. I don't even get scheduled enough to care. Bye. So that was obviously OP. At least one other coworker agreed with her. Maybe they can go. Maybe she can get a job where OP got her new job. Marto Temp says, "Good for you. Most people wouldn't stand up like that. If it's safe and possible, maybe let her know in front of them isn't the best place. In front of there is the best place to stay. Maybe even unsafe for her because I imagine if it starts like this, those coworkers wouldn't have a second thought to call the police or something, even if she's minding her own business." And we've seen people, or at least I've seen people that will like spray homeless people down in the middle of winter and stuff like that. People are just mean. Some people are just mean. And I think that's why Trump's in office because people have no empathy and they're mean and it's all about them and no one else. I did see something the other day. It's kind of interesting. Um, they did some kind of survey on what your priorities are, how you make decisions, liberals versus conservatives. And liberals mostly, they had like 5 categories. Shoot, I wish I had written that down. They had 5 categories, and it was like, I can't even remember the 5 categories, but 2 of them were like very empathetic, and the other 3 were very, um, very me first. And liberals made their decisions based on the first on the what's best for everybody thing, and the other ones weighed all of them equally. So that's part of our problems right now, I think. Some people are basing their decisions on what's best for everyone and not necessarily what's best for themselves. And somebody else is making decisions a little bit about everybody, but mostly about themselves. So that was an interesting thing. I'll have to look that up and I'll put it in our in a regular episode next week probably. I better make a note to do that, huh? Because I'll forget if I don't do it right now. I do have Balin Out Loud ready to go, just so you guys know. So we'll have that on Tuesday. Um, okay, oh, that'll work. It's really sad that so many of them. Like, how does a whole restaurant like that? Uh-oh, I went too far. How is a whole restaurant like that? I don't understand it at all. Okay. Next one is Emma the Devil, and it's the second one because we're going to read the first one later this month. So this is from Am I the Devil? And it's entitled Agrees with Forced Birth. And it is from Pro Life. So you know it's going to be a crap show. How to show empathy as a pro lifer to someone that feels they are harmed by pro life. 20 years ago, one of my closest relatives experienced pregnancy that made me even. That's interesting. Hold on. I'm going back to that again because it seems very familiar, but it didn't show that we'd actually watched it. Or actually watched it. Oh, it was. I did the wrong one. That was silly. I so silly. Yeah, we're gonna read that other one next later this month. Or we read it last month or something. I don't know. Okay. It's entitled so it's oh, I need to. Okay. Double check, make sure that's right. Okay. I still think about this old post, is what it's entitled. It's from Am I the Devil? And it's originally from AIT, from Am I the A-hole? AITA for not thinking the joke my family played on my girlfriend was a big deal. I, 25 male, have a girlfriend, 23 female, who is absolutely beautiful, but she does have a large facial scar. My family often jokes about it. They have a super dark sense of humor, and it bothers my girlfriend, and she says it doesn't feel like a joke. It feels like she's being insulted under the pretense of being dark humor. Even though I explain it's just how they are. They don't mean any harm. She doesn't really want to be around them. If somebody doesn't want to be around you because of the way you're talking about them, maybe you should stop doing that. Saying. I told her it was really important to me that we spend Christmas with my family. We would all quarantine first and test, but it was important to me. So this was 5 years ago, by the way. She resisted at first, but after some urging from me, she gave in. She said I absolutely could not excuse their behavior if they made a rude comment about her, though. We got there and it was fine for a while. Then my mom and sister broke out in their matching ugly sweaters that had my girlfriend's face all over it. That is just cruel. Girl, get away from this guy. They both laughed, saying my mom made them, screen printed, and it was just a joke. That's not a joke. That is bullying. If you think that's a joke, you need to be bullied. My dad thought it was hilarious. I even chuckled a little because she's really beautiful, so it was ironic that they put her on the ugly sweater. My girlfriend looked at me, and when I said they were just being ironic, she shook her head, got up, and left. Good for her. Good for her. Didn't say anything to anyone, just got in her car and left. Good for her. I called her several times and she didn't answer. The only text I received was, "You need to find your own way home." That pissed me off. And I called her a couple more times. The whole time my mom was upset because it was just a joke and she didn't realize my girlfriend was going to overreact like that. I told her that a warning would have been nice, but she and my sister agreed that it was just a joke and my girlfriend was being a baby about it. No, you're being mean. You're just mean. I had another fight with my girlfriend when I finally got home and she said I was being an a-hole for putting her in that situation. And I said I didn't realize they were going to do that and they were being ironic because she's beautiful. It doesn't matter how much you think she's beautiful if she thinks she's being picked on. She said I let them treat her badly and was going to make it her and was trying to make it her fault when it was my family who acted badly. I said it was just a joke and she was overreacting. So you're dismissing how she feels. You're not a good boyfriend. She asked how it was supposed to be a joke, and I said it was just their sense of humor. Okay, but that's not explaining how it's supposed to be a joke. Explain to me what was funny about it. Why was it funny? I said I was sorry she was offended by the joke, but she ruined the whole day with her reaction. She said no, then realizing she wasn't going to take their BS anymore ruined the day. We aren't speaking currently, but when a cousin called to wish me Merry Christmas and asked how the day went, I mentioned what happened, and he straight up called me an a-hole for doing that to her. Green flags for the cousin. I don't really think I've done anything though, and I don't know where they're going to do that. I didn't know they were going to do that, and it really was just a joke, and I think she's overreacting. Am I the a-hole here? Ambitious support would said a joke would have been putting his face on a sweater since he would have enjoyed the joke. Exactly. Bad Bandit says better one would have been putting his face on the toilet paper. There's a TikTok going around of a guy who intentionally gave his date the wrong dress code, fancy restaurant, and he came in a suit versus her casual clothes. It's a power play. It's not supposed to be funny because it's not a joke. It's power play. Yeah, I can see that. Captain Farthole says, I also have a very dark sense of humor, but making fun of someone's prominent scar that they're sensitive about isn't dark humor, it's bullying. This entire family sucks. That is true. 100%. Okay. I'm still hungry. I might drop this subreddit altogether. It's entitled Karens, and the top one for the year only got 742 likes. And I have a cutoff of 1,000. But we'll watch this one. And this will be the last one we'll ever do because I'm going to delete it. Sure. Okay. Oops.
Against anyone. If
No, at the
nobody,
time,
just you.
I'm not trying to offend anybody.
I didn't. You keep jumping to these things.
No, you just.
I was
what?
curious to know why you did it. No one else cares. So you're not rebelling against anything.
Now you're like
you said
going
you
back
did
and
it
forth.
rebellious.
What is
So
going on here?
You're not getting it.
I don't care how
So-
anybody feels.
So it was all about you.
100%. I don't even know who you
But
are.
You still wear it, so you love
It seems to offend you.
No, you try to infer.
Your disposition is a little off right now.
Maybe that's your choice of interpretation.
Well, you
I
asked
asked
me,
a simple question,
and
so
I told
you love it.
But you never let me finish.
You never got to that. Am I going to break this up? No, I like to learn.
I don't think that there's anything to learn.
I was just curious.
All right, what do you want to say? I want to give you the floor. Say whatever you feel like you need to say.
I do. I asked you a question, and you stated. You said you love this question.
You never said I love this question. And I said I'm ready to answer it because
Good.
I have a camera on.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
this
good.
is all being filmed.
Good. Good.
So I'm not too sure like what
And
is
I think
going
it's
on.
interesting that you're filming too.
I am because these interactions come up and it's great, you know.
Exactly.
I don't even know who you are.
Question, and you went down the emotional run.
You didn't even let
That
me
was
talk.
a simple question. So I finally got to the answers.
I don't think
Finally.
that's. Do you have Instagram?
Poor little thing.
Maybe somebody will show you this video and you can reflect on it. You're doing too much. Don't argue with random people.
You do.
Isn't that what you're doing right now? What was that?
But nobody.
Oh, no, not at all. See you later.
Well, that was weird. But why is she asking questions if she doesn't like the answers? I don't know. Unusual. But yeah, we're not going to do that one anymore. I'm taking it off of here. If the top one only got 700, we're not doing that anymore. Next is AITA relationships. This is also one that it's newer because they wanted to get the relationship stuff away from AITA. And it's only got the top one's only got 9, but I think this one has potential to to grow because they have 28,000 weekly visitors and 3,000 weekly contributions. So this one could grow a little bit. So AITA relationships, AITA for saying I'll only do butt stuff with my boyfriend if he lets me peg him first. This one needs a trigger warning. This one's not going to go anywhere but here. Oh my, they're young too. They should not be doing this stuff yet. My 18-year-old boyfriend of the year, 19 male. Oh, so they're guys. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Expresses interest in, you know. Oh no, she's female. Never mind. She's female. Expresses interest in butt stuff for the first time about 3 months into our relationship. That is really quick, guy. That's really quick. You are young. You have all the time in the world to do that. I was open to it and we tried soon after. I admit I couldn't tell if I needed to poop or not. I don't think this is real. Wasn't as relaxed as I could been. Of course not, because it's new and you're always nervous. I was nervous I'd be dirty down there even if I showered beforehand. I tried my best to endure it, but it was painful despite everything else. It burned and it felt like she crapped only backwards. I'm not reading the whole thing. It's got too much. There's TMI here. Also, it feels wrong. And please tell me I'm not unloaded this and degrading. I mean, if you didn't really want to do it, I can see that. And she says that it comes from his interest in porn. And she almost cried. You know, girl, you didn't have to do it. If it started feeling bad from the start, you can withdraw your consent. It's okay. It's okay to do that. This is coercion, and you shouldn't be coerced into doing any sexual act that you don't want to do. It's okay to, and if at any time it hurts, you feel degraded or humiliated or whatever, you can stop. You can withdraw your consent and you can stop. It's okay. I just want to make sure everybody knows that. She hid that from him that she was crying or almost crying. He noticed that she was not enthused. Uh, and it sounds like he stopped, so that's good. He noticed that she wasn't into it and he stopped. Good update. That was that until about 2 months ago, and then he started bringing it up every couple of weeks, and very adamantly so. He doesn't like his backside touched at all. Like if she accidentally brushed it, he'll spin it down and cover himself. So every time he breaks it up, I say no, to which he calls me lame. I tell him if he lets me do it to him, I'll do it. To which he starts complaining, gets in his feelings. No, no, no. That's cool. If he doesn't want to do it, why should you? Dude, think about this for half a second. Half a second. I think it's only fair. Maybe I'm being petty, but I think if I get it, he should too. Not really, but I'm about at my limit with him pressuring me to do something I clearly don't like. Update. I'm breaking up with him. This is my first ever serious relationship as my mom never allowed me to date until I turned 18. See, this is why you don't do that. It's why you let your kids have relationships earlier so that they can learn how to navigate them. I didn't realize how problematic this behavior is, or there are a number of other ways he doesn't respect my boundaries. It was an unfortunate, slow burning eye opener. Thank you, guys. No, you are NTA. That's crazy. This is only 9 days ago, by the way. This is really, yeah, this is really this year. No, no, no. No OP. Actually, that was a good way to get around it by asking him if she could do it to him, right? Nobody should be forced to do something they don't want to do. Ever. It's wrong. Why does my phone keep going off? No. It's connected. Let's just be Facebook stuff. I can hear it pinging in the background. You probably can't hear it. All right. Oh, there it goes. Instagram. I don't even use Instagram most of the time. All right. We got Petty Revenge coming up. Hot and heavy. Just kidding. Oh, it's really short too. That's okay. I'm into short today. This is from about 7 months ago. Okay, so it's from Petty Revenge, and it's entitled My Neighbor Kept Parking in My Driveway, so I parked behind him and went out of town. My neighbors have been parking in my driveway for months. I asked him not to a bunch of times, but he always goes, "It's just for a sec," and shrugs it off. Came home last Friday, and yep, he was again, only thing was I was headed out of town for the weekend. So I pulled in behind him, grabbed my stuff, and left a couple hours later and had a bunch of missed calls and a text, "Dude, what WTF?" But I didn't answer. Hope he had a relaxing weekend to think things through. Don't park in other people's driveways. Why do people do this? Wolfpack says, I did this once. My driveway and my neighbor's driveway were adjoining, and there's a fence that goes down the length of the driveway to separate them. They were having a party on Saturday, which never bothers me. What did bother me was a couple of their guests had parked in my driveway. I asked the neighbors to have them move when I came home and was met with, "I don't have to," from the owners of the cars. So I parked behind. Hours later, I heard knocking. I heard the doorbell. I heard the banging, but I didn't answer the door. Knocking started, and around 11 a.m. the next morning, I answered. They asked me to move my car, and I said, "I don't have to," and shut the door. This is a holiday weekend, Memorial Day, and I was off work till Tuesday. I didn't leave my house until then. This Memorial Day weekend, they had the same party. Only difference is no one parked in my driveway. It's not your place. Actually, you should have them towed if they're parking in your driveway, but man. Stormfather says, "Are there any legal civil issues with doing this? In my country, the police won't do anything about someone parking on or blocking your driveway. They will tell you to speak to the council as it's a civil dispute. The only issue if someone blocks you in and prevents access to the highway." I remember a story from a few years ago when someone parked across the farmer's access road. When they came back, the farmer told them to move, but they didn't. So he tipped their car over using a telehandler, causing a lot of damage to the car in the process. Courts ended up siding with the farmer. Good. Y'all crybabies said, "Text back. Hold on. I'll just be a minute." And OP says, "Relax. I was only gone for a sec." Oh. Oh, that one was pretty good. All right. Next one set up here. We already read. So, nope. That one, already got that one. Oh, it says 2. Okay. It says 2, like it's the second one, but there's no 1. So I don't know why it says 2. Okay. This is from Am I the Jerk, entitled AITA for walking out of my anniversary dinner because my husband gave me a gift that was basically for him. Love it when people give themselves gifts. I know someone who got a breast augmentation and was so happy that she got it for her birthday. And I said, "Oh, so your husband got himself, your husband bought himself some boobies, huh?" So my husband, 34 male, and I, 31 female, just hit our second anniversary. I spent 2 weeks saving up to buy him a smartwatch he'd been eyeing. I wrapped it nicely, cooked his favorite meal, and set up candles. When he came home to exchange gifts, he handed me an envelope. Inside was a $100 gift card to his favorite gaming store, laughed and said, "We can both use it since you watch me play all the time." That's rude. Is this really your gift to her? I sat there on our anniversary. My gift was literally something for him. I told him how disappointed I was, and he said I was being ungrateful. No, I ended up leaving, going to my sister's. He's still mad I ruined the night. AITA. No, you're not. What the heck? First of all, couples giving each other gifts is overrated. I don't My husband and I don't participate in that most of the time. We get either, oh, we'll get ourselves a gift. We'll get a joint gift. Or we'll just buy something we need. We spend enough money on everyone else. Glittering Moose says, take the gift card to the store. See if there's anything you like. If not, buying some games, then donate them to a children's hospital. Then know that this will be your entire marriage if he's unwilling to change. Yeah, no kidding. Only do something like that as a joke. Like if you want to buy yourself $100 at a gaming store and you want to joke, give it to your wife and say, "Go buy me something," but also buy her something really nice. That's okay. Give it to her first as a joke. But that should not be your gift to your wife. Ever. Ever. My husband brought Lego home for himself and said it was a gift for me, I would smack him. Well, not literally. I'm not that violent yet. Oh, expectation versus reality. We love this one. Do we love this one or is it just me? I like this one. Okay. Oh, is it not it? No. Okay. Oh, their kid cried. So it says, call it a monster. I wouldn't even sit at the table with us so long as it was there. Um, of course we're going to share it. What, are you crazy? This was the expectation. And it's supposed to be a little doggy made out of your eggs, made out of your breakfast. Made out your breakfast. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. That's horrible. First of all, it's overcooked. So that's not good. Who thought of this idea anyway? Egg molds are silly, unless it's just round. I understand if it's just round, but egg molds is silly. Oops. I don't know what I'm doing. He says, top comment is that reveal was incredible. Incredible. If you're too young to get this joke, there used to be a commercial called The Incredible Edible Egg. When they used to have people frying up eggs and the incredible edible egg. Full of contradiction says, I laughed, made my husband look, continued laughing until I cried. I'm dying. Imagining OP's kid being traumatized by whatever this is. That's really sad. I'm sorry. Poor kid. I'm sorry for the kid more than anything else. Uh-oh. I forgot to. That's bad. I forgot to time that one. I gotta go back and get it. I gotta go back and redo. Oh, well, that's weird. Now it's disappeared. Now it's disappeared completely off of the site. That's so weird. Okay. I really should get myself together. Okay, we're going to do our metal segment anyway. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I try to go live at least 4 times a week, usually about noon Eastern time. Tell your friends, tell your families, tell your enemies. We need subscribers. If you have a story of your own or come across a good one in the wild, please send us an email entitled submission. If you would like an email link to the current day's live, send an email entitled subscribe. The email is biddybrunchbunch, all one word, at gmail.com, and the email is also in the description. And now we're going to real estate, so that's going to be fun. Okay, this is from 8 months ago. It's hold on, I gotta. Okay, it's entitled Strange House for Sale in Utah. Oops. I don't like going. The Reddit ones only have a certain percentage of all of the pictures. There are 170 pictures, guys. 170 pictures we got to look at. This is in Utah. It looks like a lodge. Looks like a big lodge, like you should be renting rooms daily. There's a giant unfinished barn next to it. It is, it says it has been sold. I want to know who bought it. 10 bedrooms, 18 bathrooms, and 70,000 square feet. It's a beautiful view. I love that. It's got to be some kind of lodge, doesn't it? Like, how can that be somebody's house? An unfinished barn. Oh my goodness. There's a dolphin in the unfinished barn, which looks like it's going to be a pool. Why does it look like it's going to be a pool? Oh, nope, it's not. Never mind, it was just the floor. See, that looks like a hotel lobby to me. That is a very long table. And why do you have so many extra chairs? Oh my. It's the tropics room. The theater. How many people? It's 4 times 8. 32? 32? Is it 32? I don't know. I think it's 30 some seats. Oh no, it's more than that because some of the rows are bigger. One of the rows is bigger. 2 of the rows is bigger. Okay, I'm not counting. Oh, this can't be real. This has got to be like a business. This is not a house. This is a business. That's clearly said. Nobody has this in their house. Yikes. Well, I guess they're good for the apocalypse also. Nice staircase. Interesting embellishments on the posts. Where's the kitchen? You keep showing me this dining room. How many do I just have to call it Uber Eats every time? Oh, there it is. I like the kitchen. It's kind of small for the amount of dining that's supposedly going on there. So many sitting areas. Another weird, this is the African room. Enchanted room. They have fake parrots in their room. Upstairs, finally. Another sitting area. A non-impressive chandelier. Another fireplace, which clearly has a fake fire in it. A bedroom. Looks like a huge bedroom, to be honest. That looks like a very long hallway, too. Oh, it's got a little balcony, so that's nice. And a fireplace outside on the balcony. And it looks like 2 rooms share this balcony. That is the squarest tub. This bathroom is only for squares. Okay, there's this. It looks like a chair could fit there. But there's a cabinet over it. I'm so confused. I'm very confused. I like the shower. The shower's okay even if it's square. Ginormous closet. Ooh, there is a very, very large safe. Oh my goodness, that's ginormous. It's as big as a refrigerator in the bedroom. I guess if you have money to buy this, you have the money to put in the safe. You have stuff you can put in that safe. Another bedroom. Nice big window, which is nice. A bedroom with a microwave and a wine/drink refrigerator and a sink in the bedroom. And it has a bathroom. More square bath. Another bedroom. Looks just like the other one. Unless it is the other one, I'm not sure. Maybe it is. See, that's what's making me think this is a lodge for, not for family customers. This one has it right outside the bedroom in the hallway area. Or maybe that's between the bedroom and the bathroom. Every bedroom has a bath. You'd definitely set up your Airbnb here. But I don't think the kitchen's big enough to feed everybody. This bedroom's a little darker color. Same accoutrements, same bathroom. Laundry room. Stacked laundry. I could never do that. I am too short to fit my arms in that washer. Would not be happening. Or is that the dryer and the washer goes on the bottom because it's heavier? Because that would make more sense. Tropical room, and the bed, is that a bed? Is the bed a boat? Is there a bed in that boat? There's bunk beds with a boat over it, but there's also boats. More than one boat, I might add. Yeah, that boat's a bed. There's also just a table with a mattress on it. I would not want to sleep there. I mean, I'm not afraid of falling out of bed, but I still don't want to sleep on that. It's too high. A 3-sink bathroom. And the worst bathtub to date. Another sitting area. Upstairs. I think this must be it. Nope, there's still stairs going up from here to another area with another boat bed. And this one has a swan for a masthead. Nice. Nice swan. You can have seating, or it can be a bed. How many people do you think we can fit in this house? Another 3-sink bathroom. Another crappy bed. Oh my goodness. Okay, I did not see that coming. Did not see the, I forgot what that's called. And a big old basement with nothing in it. But this looks like a ticket counter for the, yep, it was. It's a ticket counter for the, so you can sell tickets to your movies. That's silly. I mean, I like a good movie room, but a good theater room, but that's silly. This looks like it's an actual theater room. So weird. Or is this a different theater room? This is a different theater room. There's a house inside the house. Do you want a house in your house? Because you're going to have a house in your house. Unfinished. Some unfinished rooms in the basement. I'm assuming it's the basement anyway. Okay, that's a weird little thing going up to a little weird cubby. Oh, they have parts for a slide. They're putting in a slide. And then you have your automotive area. This place is just so weird. This place is bizarro. Honestly, back here, I would put this as sci-fi because that looks very sci-fi in there. What in the actual heck? Beam me up, Scotty. Is this the sci-fi area? That is bizarro, man. Welcome to Critter Town. They have an undertaker, a bank, and a saloon. What else do you need? Oh, you probably need a prison. Probably need a jail. Does this stuff stay in the house? And the barn, back to the barn. I don't care about the barn. The barn's not even finished. Are they gonna, was it costing too much to build their house, their place? It's a barn with a walkout. Interesting. No, that's definitely a pool. They're definitely putting a pool in there. And it's not finished. That is wild. I can see why it's the top rated one for the year. Bunch of outside shots. The view is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely. Views of mountains are always gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. This is clearly a rustic, like, supposed to be a business. Clearly. Oh, they got neighbors. Or is that the house where the caretaker caretaker lives. A little bit of housing around. Yeah, I think that other house is supposed to be with the property. Although it's a little bit more developed, it's got grass. So you could have your saloon right there. Or is that going to be your jail? Oh, horsey and a cow. Horsey and a cow. It looks beautiful at night. In the evening. When it's completely dark. Nope, now we're starting over. Back to listing. Back to listing. Says price unknown. 10 bedrooms, 18 bathrooms, 70,000 square feet. It's designed to be a family retreat, but you could easily put a hotel in there. One of those fancy hotels, destination in and of itself. Only 4 fireplaces and they're gas. Forced air and radiant floor heating, air conditioning. Total 20 parking spaces. Has a garage with 20 parking spaces. 20 parking spaces in the garage. You guys can't probably read that very well anyway. Has a guest house and sheds. Numerous sheds. Secluded. Audio system, computer network pre-wired, media system pre-wired, and you can raise houses. Has a pond, mountains, and a valley. It's no siding slab. It says slab. It's not. It's got a basement. That's weird. Septic tank, sewer. Water is well water. Utilities are electric and gas connected, so that's nice. Fire pressure system and smoke alarms. Interesting. I bet somebody bought that and they're gonna business that out for sure. Okay. On to Reddit reads. Proper Reddit reads. Here. Okay, this is from Traumatize Them Back, entitled That's Not Your Baby, Is It? This happened when my son was about 3 months old. I'm Filipino, my husband is white, and our son looks almost like my husband's mini-me. Pale skin, light hair, blue eyes. You wouldn't know I carried him for 9 months and birthed him. One afternoon, I was pushing the stroller through Target when a random older woman came up and said, "Wow, what a beautiful baby. Is he adopted?" I said, "No, actually, I stole him. His mom is an aisle 6. Well, his face went white as a sheet. She didn't laugh. She didn't blink. She just backed away like I was about to pull a ski mask over her head. I just kept pushing the stroller, humming like nothing happened, and never saw her again. Oh, that's funny. Livebird Pond said my white friend adopted a Vietnamese baby. A worker came to the house, looked at the baby, looked at my friend, and said, "The father, he is Asian," to which my friend replies, "I have no idea who the father is." Shrug, probably. Oh. Somebody said, my ex-wife, White, would constantly get approached when out with our son when he was younger, and received the question, what country is he adopted from? I'm Asian. To which most of the time she would respond, likely in her head, but made it for a good story. Mofo, I carried 9 months and popped him out myself, damn it. She would just take offense at being asked. I would chuckle and take it on the chin at the same time with the realization that small Indiana town in 2010 cannot comprehend the idea that a white woman can be married and having children with someone of Asian descent. That's funny. That was a good time. That was like the second best one because the best one we either already read or it's coming up. Next is from subreddit Confession, entitled My Neighbor Tried to Get My Mom Fined Over Our Shed, so I got his $40,000 pool filled in. It's from about 9 months ago. I live with my mom. She's quiet, keeps to herself, never bothers anyone. A few months ago, our new neighbor decided to report her to the city for an illegal shed in the backyard. It was total BS. The shed's been there for years and has full permits. An inspector came out, checked everything, and left without a word. But the neighbor, smug, proud, though he thought he scared us, so I did a little digging. Turns out his brand new pool was way too close to the property line and illegally built over a utility easement. I reported to him, attached photos, quoted city codes. 2 weeks later, the city ordered him to either move it, impossible, or fill it in. He lost the whole $40,000 down the drain, literally. Now he gets to look at our completely legal shed every day. Sorry. Now he gets to look at our completely legal shed every day while standing over a pile of dirt where his pool used to be. Mom sleeps great now. Somebody said put a kiddie pool next to the shed. To which Hot Woodpecker says diabolical, and Care Bear answers diabolical, but you'd be sitting in it facing where his pool used to be under an umbrella with an adult beverage in hand. Oh my goodness. I guess I should stop eating those because they're not helping my cough. So, sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. I keep forgetting to do what I need to do. This is from Interesting AF, entitled Fox Asleep on My Outdoor Couch. And there is indeed a fox sleeping on a couch. He looks very comfortable. Very cute and very comfortable. Don't disturb him. He deserves that. He deserves that sleep just for existing. What a cute little guy. As long as he's not being destructive otherwise. Thought I might have read it, but I guess we haven't. All right. This is from Am I the A-hole? Entitled AITA for Enforcing Basic Boundaries at My Daughter's Sleepover. I, 42 male, have 2 kids living with me. My daughter Anya, 17 female, and my stepson Noah, 14 male. Noah's mom passed away a few years ago when I've had full custody since. He's had a rough go of it, but he's a good kid with his quirks. He's not antisocial, shy, but he does not appreciate having his space invaded. And when very upset, he can kind of shut down. This might be the opposite. Anya is much more outgoing and has lots of friends. She asked to have a sleepover this weekend with 4 of them. I said yes, of course. But given that the friends who were coming pretty loud have a tendency to crowd Noah, I told her to make sure they don't go into her brother's room. And also to keep things down after 11 so the house can sleep. These are perfectly reasonable. I mean, you shouldn't even have to state that they shouldn't be going in the brother's room. They shouldn't be going in any of the bedrooms where they're not invited, not expressly invited. And 11 o'clock is a normal quiet time for everybody. In my opinion, these are not strict rules, and they're not. They are normal. Every day to be expected. To my surprise, I came upstairs to check on them about 10. They're 17. I didn't think I needed to check on them every hour or something. They were in Noah's room. I had numerous sleepovers with my friends at this age. We would almost every Friday night sleep over at somebody's house. No one ever went into a room where they weren't supposed to be, ever. We stayed in the general area of the house. Usually slept in the living room. Because our bedrooms were just too small to have. Is it 4? I think there were 4 of us. The bedrooms were just too small, so we'd sleep in the living room. We'd stay in the living room and the kitchen. That's living room, kitchen, bathroom. That's the only places we went. They looked like they'd been there. They were in Noah's room. And they looked like they'd been there a while. 2 were literally sitting on the bed with him there. One of them was flipping through his sketchbook, another was messing with his other stuff, and they were all kind of giggling in this weird way. Noah was clearly upset. He didn't say anything or move. But there were tears in his eyes, and he didn't respond when I tried to talk to him. I told the girls to get out right then, and that I was calling every single one of their parents. Anya was pretty upset with me, but I told her that I gave her 2 rules, and they failed spectacularly. Yep, you can't behave, you get to go home. I actually did call all of their parents and sent them home as soon as possible. Anya blew up saying I embarrassed her. No, Anya, you embarrassed yourself by letting your friends treat your brother like that. I told her to go to her room and that we would speak on this in the morning. I spent about 20 minutes with Noah before he decided he wanted to cool down his own. I went back to my daughter, who chose not to speak to me. It's late. Both my kids are hopefully sleeping, and I'm left not knowing if I handle things right. Nope, you handled them spectacularly. Exactly how you should have. Melodic Dark says you handled things perfectly, okay? You set very reasonable rules for your daughter and decided not. Sorry. You handled things perfectly, okay? You set very reasonable rules for your daughter, and your daughter decided not to care and upset Noah. I'd ground her. She doesn't care to have embarrassed Noah, but she sure cares that she couldn't get her way. What was she expecting? I don't think I'd ground her, because grounding her doesn't really have anything to do with this. I think the punishment was having your friend sent home and being embarrassed about it. You don't have to over punish kids. Punish them. This is perfectly reasonable punishment, perfectly reasonable consequence. I don't like punishment. It's a perfectly reasonable consequence to her actions. You told her to do something, she didn't do it, her friends got to go home. And their parents were called. How embarrassing for a 17-year-old to have mommy and daddy have to come pick you up in the middle of the night. I think the punishment fit the crime, and that's all that needs to be done for now. Now, then you give her a second chance. And if she does it again, then you punish her. then the consequences, you ground her, and the consequences escalate from there. But tell her beforehand that if this happens again, giving you another chance, but if this happens again, you're going to be grounded for whatever. From I don't like grounding anyway. Um, I took classes when I was pregnant, and they're like, "Don't ground your kids. You can ground your kids without you, but don't ground your kids. Like if your kids are misbehaving and you go to the store and you call somebody to watch them while you're at the store, come home with a McDonald's shake. Way better than pointing out their their misdeeds, because they'll be upset that they didn't get a shake if they want it. Make sure it's something they like." uh, Brandon and the Boyds says, "One thing I want to point out is how this may be something Noah thinks about a lot moving forward in life. You stood up for him against your daughter, your real kid. As a teen boy living with a stepfather and stepsister, you have to wonder if he thinks you view them equally. You just proved to him that you do. He's as much your son as your daughter. You absolutely handled this the right way. Your daughter was an inconsiderate brat. Consequences? As long as you follow through and are consistent with both kids, and you're doing a great job." Exactly. And honestly, you should adopt this poor kid. He needs parents. He needs parents, and he needs to know that he is yours no matter what happens. Oh, that's not right. It was just the rule. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I didn't do what I thought I did, so I don't have to fix it. All right, this is from I Don't Work Here Lady, and it's entitled, "Some guy storms up to me and says, 'I need extra towels in 402 right now.' I was in the I was waiting in the lobby of a hotel for a friend to come down. I was wearing black pants, white button up, and holding my phone, pretty standard outfit. Some guy storms up to me and says, 'I need extra towels in 402 right now.' And I smiled and said, 'I'm sorry, I don't work here.' He narrowed his eyes, looked at me, and said, 'Then why are you standing behind the desk?' Because the desk was just a high counter table with chairs. I literally scrolling Instagram. I stood up, showed him my backpack, and said, 'Because it's a chair, not your personal helpline.' He huffed and went to the actual front desk where staff were wearing navy blazers with name tags and loudly complained about your employee ignoring me. The front desk clerk looked at him, looked at me, and said, 'Sir, she doesn't work here. And even if she did, snapping at people isn't how you get towels.' Best part, his wife walked up behind him, smacked him on the arm, and said, 'You're embarrassing me again.'" So apparently this guy does this a lot. Unlikely phone says, "Plot twist. Dude probably does this in every lobby he walks up to. Panera Bread, extra towels, DMP, extra towel." The second top comment is from Drop It Like It's Cold. It says, "Just say, 'Sure thing, no problem, sir,' and go back to what you were doing." And Churro Juggernaut points out that this problem with this is some poor hotel employee will just get chewed out harder when he returns towelless. Yeah, probably. All right, this is not going to be a pleasant one. We're going to do it anyway. Well, I anticipate it not being pleasant anyway. This is from the subreddit Overheard, and it's about 4 months ago. It's entitled Overheard Coworker Finding Out About Charlie Kirk Today. Coworker 1, oh my God, I didn't know Charlie Kirk died. Coworker 2, yeah, it's been all over the news. Coworker 1, I don't watch that. This makes me so sad. He's like a brother to me. Ew. Coworker 2, like a brother? Coworker 1, yeah, we went to school together. He was so nice. Coworker 2 shows picture of Charlie Kirk. You mean this guy? You went to school with him? Coworker, no, who's that? Coworker 2, Charlie Kirk. Coworker 1, oh, I was thinking about somebody else. Oops. I wonder who was it. Now I want to know who it was. Stret Pharmacist says during COVID, I was neighbors with this guy, probably in his 70s. He was disabled, had large metal plate in his head, and television broken for like a year. He just sit and re- read and sit outside most of the time, waved at everybody, was not all that interested in talking. Guy didn't know about the shutdowns or COVID at all for probably the first 6 months of it. He decided to go get a new TV because he ran out of books. He was scared crapless and thought the world was ending since it seemed like everything happened all at once. Overheard him panicking to another neighbor when I was getting mail. Well, that's got to be scary. I mean, he's probably got head trauma, brain trauma from whatever whatever injury caused his head to be to need a large metal plate. I don't think they do that anymore. I think they use plastic now, probably. That's pretty wild. Jersey says, I got a phone call about 15 years ago telling me M was hit by a train. He has been medevac to Cooper Hospital. Get there ASAP. When I got there, since M was my husband's name, he didn't answer his cell phone. Come to find out, it wasn't my mem, just a shared name, and they misdialed. Holy cow. I felt horrible for the man's family who didn't get the call in time. Oh, that is heartbreaking. That's terrible. Haiku, these are great. Haiku or Us said, I was in high school when Jerry Garcia died. An acquaintance came to me and said, "Did you hear that Barry Garcia died?" I panicked for a few minutes as Barry Garcia was one of my oldest friends. I found out pretty quickly, so yeah, I guess you could say I was relieved when I found out Jerry Garcia died. Oh. Von said, this made me laugh. A couple of years ago, I was talking to my best friend growing up, and he asked what I thought about Mike. Me. Not sure what you mean. Brian. Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. Me. Who? Brian. Little Mikey Johnson, who we went to Captain Shreve. Who we went to Captain Shreve is the Speaker of the House. Mind blown. Not sure how to attach a pic, but I have one. Well, your friend turned out to be not that great a person. Hugh Clover said, my 7-year-old mom and 45-year-old sister asked me who Charlie Kirk was. I think they're giving way too much exposure to a guy maybe 2 out of 10 people know before he was killed. Yeah, that's true. Okay, I think that's enough. I think that's enough of that. Okay. All right. Next is from True Off My Chest, and it's entitled My Husband Was Laid Off from Microsoft by an Algorithm. That sucks because that should not happen. After 25 years, his last day is his birthday. At least you let the guy retire. 25 years, come on. My husband has worked for Microsoft for 25 years. He was just laid off, randomly selected by a computer algorithm. His last day is Friday. It's his 48th birthday. He's autistic and has multiple sclerosis. He's mostly quietly loyal, brilliant person I've ever met. Never missed a day of work, rarely called in sick, and would then work from home, worked 60 hours a week, took on call shifts during Christmas and Thanksgiving so coworkers with children could be home. He never asked for raises or promotions. He just kept showing up and solving impossible problems. He's won award for fixing multi-million-dollar bugs. He's mentored hundreds of coworkers, including some who went on to lead teams and divisions. Even the CEOs knew his name, and yet he was let go by a spreadsheet. He got his 25-year crystal a few months back, and he's being walked out. He would be so embarrassed if he knew I was writing this. He's proud of keeping a stiff upper lip and not making a fuss, but I couldn't leave him without somebody hearing the story. I don't need pity. I just need someone to know that this world does to the people who give it everything, quietly, consistently, and without ever asking for more. That's heartbreaking, OP. I'm very sorry. Wilco says the worst part is your story isn't even rare anymore. It's emblematic of a deeper rot in the system. We built this modern tech industry on the backs of people like your husband. Deeply competent, loyal, often invisible, behind the scenes problem solvers. People who don't politic, don't self promote, and don't network. They just do the work. And when the bean counters come to look for them, trim the fat, it's those people who get shuffled off because loyalty and institutional memory aren't something a spreadsheet can weigh. Unlimited Dennison, there was a deleted comment. And Unlimited Dennison says, crap. Jack Welch did this in the 80s using arbitrary metric to stack rank his employees so he could get fired 10% right before every quarterly report and report net income versus cost is significantly higher. Absolute scum and the entire owner class jumped on it. Yes, Jack Welch is responsible for all of this. Jack Welch is the person who is responsible for putting investors ahead of employees, and it's wrong and it's bad. And it's happening at GM now too. They picked up on it. And let me tell you, it is bad for morale. Oh my gosh. So bad. Especially the way they do it. You just can't get in one day. They send you an email on your personal email, not on your work email, because you don't have that anymore. And it doesn't matter where in the world you are. You don't have your laptop and your phone will not work after they decide to ask you for no reason other than that you were the top bottom 10% or the bottom 10%. Is horrific for both the people being fired and less so, but still for the people being left behind. Your friend's just not there one day. You might never see them again. It's horrible. This is from in-laws, and I don't know why this doesn't get more traction. Because in-laws can be terrible. Mm. That actually feels better now. This has a picture. So this is from, oops, sorry. This is from In-Laws, and it's entitled In-Laws Former I've Officially Lost It. In-laws former in-laws have officially. We lost our son and grandson due to our daughter-in-law's lies and threats. Our daughter-in-law is a narcissist. Please get some help. You've hurt us for too long. That seems a bit extreme to be standing out in the road, well, on the sidewalk, with weird signs. This is not normal behavior, sir. Oops. Let's do that. So I posted this in a group along with a couple others several months back in regards to my toxic in-laws and their crappy behavior. You can refer to my post for reference. I hope you do so you can gather as much context as possible. I may have to take a break. I might have to take a break. We ended up going completely non-contact with them, indicating that we would reach out when we felt ready to have them allow them back in our lives. There was no timeline for this. They didn't like that, and I do not owe them that after all they've done to my family. Even this non-contact period, they have continued to do inappropriate, crappy things, such as sending a card to my son with a CO, only my husband's name. They knew what they were doing when they sent that, showing up at our house unannounced, showing up at my husband's workplace unannounced, etc. Do not show up at your children's houses unannounced, especially if you're not on good terms with them. Regardless, my son's first birthday is coming up, and I have been struggling with whether to open up the lines of communication again and allow them to see him. Only ever on my terms and never on theirs. My gut has been telling me it's too soon. I still don't trust them, and it doesn't feel right having them around me or my son. 2 days ago, my husband and I were driving home from work at 5 p.m., and this is what we see standing at a Biddy intersection 2 blocks from our house. I'm still in shock. My husband is still in shock. We are so hurt and appalled by this behavior, and it won't shake. I've never experienced two worse human beings in my life, and I can't believe I'm related to these people. They will never see me, their son, or their grandson for the rest of their lives, and they get to live with the shame of that. Fresh as oh, free avocado, freesh fresh avocado. Maybe it's fresh avocado. I don't know. If it makes you feel any better, I promise at least 90% of the people who saw this driving by knew that this guy was deranged and that you and your husband are most likely in the right. I mean, before even reading this story, seeing what subreddit I was on or anything, I read the sign and said, "Oh yeah, this guy is effing nuts." My first thought was, "That's a crazy in-law." That was my first thought. That's crazy in-law. Carry Me On says, "What did he think he was going to accomplish with those signs? Other estranged parents would protest too. In all seriousness, I'm sorry this happened to you again. I'm glad they showed their true colors before such a big moment in your son's life." Yeah, no kidding. That's crazy pants. I'm probably gonna go back and read the background on that one. Just to entertain myself. Okay, I gotta take a short break because I gotta go to mommy. I'll be right back. All right, my bladder is gladder. Oh, what do we got here? Oops, I went too far. This is from subreddit What Do I Do? And it's entitled, I have a baby deer in my yard. What do I do? And there's a picture, and it's adorable. So I have to show it. Look at him. I do not know why, but little baby deer like to be in landscaping for some reason. I have also experienced this more than once. Um, I can assure you, baby deer will be fine. OP, baby deer will be fine. Mommy deer knows what she's doing. She found a safe space for him, and she knows that you'll watch him. It's been in the same spot since I found it this morning a few hours ago. It's in direct sunlight and it's getting kind of hot. It looks like it's breathing kind of rapidly. Doesn't seem injured. Should I move it to the shade? No, you should leave it alone. You should leave it alone. It'll be fine. Just leave it alone. Take pictures because they're cute. But I have pictures. I have very similar pictures on my phone, on my pictures. Rugger says it's very common for female deals to leave their fawn in a safe place as they forage for food to protect them from predators. Even over 12 hours is considered fairly normal behavior. Do not touch it. Keep kids away and keep an eye on it. If it's still there in the morning, give wildlife services a call. That is a beautiful little thing. And Demure Demigod says it feels safe at your house, and that's special. Conscious Eye says, oh, for sure. When a deer leaves their kid in a stranger's house for 12 hours without saying anything, people go, "Aw." But when they do it, it's child endangerment. Because deer have different behaviors and different needs, dude. Come on. We're not deer. Human babies need more one-on-one, minute-to-minute needs than a baby deer does. Silly goose. Next, we have entitled parents. It's from 9 months ago. Oh, crap. I did the wrong one. So this is from Entitled Parents, entitled, My Aunt Asked Me to Give My Graduation Money to Her Son. Family helps family. Why is it always the people needing the help that says family helps family? And then when you need help, there ain't no family around. Why is that? This just happened last year. I graduated from University of Las Vegas, I think. University of Northern Las Vegas. Something like that. UNLV, what is that? University of North Las Vegas? That's my guess. Nothing huge, just a small backyard thing with some friends and family. I got like $500 in cards from people, some cash, couple gift cards, and super appreciated. Good. Congratulations. Congratulations on your graduation, your new career, hopefully, and welcome to your new normal and your new life. Good on you, OP. The next day, my mom's sister calls and goes, so are you going to share some of that money with Jordan? Why should she? It's her money, not Jordan's money. Jordan didn't earn that money. She did. Jordan is her 20-year-old son who dropped out of college last year and hasn't been really doing much. I laughed first, and I thought she was messing around. She was dead serious. She said something like, "You know he's been struggling and you're lucky to graduate." No, she's not lucky to graduate. She worked hard to graduate. Your kid's lucky has a family to take care of him. It'd be nice if you passed some of that along. No, absolutely not. No. I told her no, it was a gift for me. She got weird and said I was acting brand new. What does that mean? And hung up. Then told my mom I was selfish, and my mom said maybe your kid should have graduated first. Whole thing was so weird. I haven't heard from Jordan either. Maybe Jordan doesn't even know. I mean, there's a possibility of that. Sparkly Garbage says, your aunt can share her money with him if she feels that way. You're not responsible for helping a 20-year-old who's more than capable of getting a job. Also, shout out to your mom for her response. Yes, green flags for the mom. Green flags for mom. Opie says, right, at 20, he should be out there learning to adult, not asking for handouts from my graduation. Bambi says, also lucky to graduate? That would have boiled my blood. Congratulations on your achievement. Ignore your weird aunt. Esther Clemens says, yeah, I saw that and thought if I was OP's mom, I'd reply to that entitled aunt. I'm about to lucky my foot up your ass. My foot would be lucky to not find myself in your butt. Oh, I'm going to skip that one. I'm skipping that one. Old news. We don't need old news. Because that subreddit is very, what do you call it? I'll think of it in a minute, maybe. Very topical, very current eventy. Very current eventy. Oh, this looks good. This looks very good. So this is from Oh No Consequences, and it's entitled Plumber Returns to Reclog Pipe After Restaurant Refuses to Pay Bill. I will share with you a screenshot. They call out everything. Heveron Plumbing Company owner Joel Heveron said that the restaurant has a history of being slow to pay payments to his business. And that is the title of the article. So, oh, it's full article. It's copy and pasted. Hopefully we won't get in trouble. The owner of the restaurant is quoted as saying the plumber situation is ridiculous and that they'd hate for something similar to happen to his other clients. I bet his other clients pay him, pa. Evanston, Indiana. I'm not going to quote everything. Said that a plumber returned to reclog their pipes after a disputed bill. Thai bistro and bar operations manager Jesse Sanders, because we're calling out everybody here, said their grease trap started to overflow. They called Heveron to come and fix the block. 3 days later, it happened again. Sanders says the recipe called them back, saying it was an emergency, and they returned again. They said they revealed for nearly double what they already paid for the first visit since the plumber was on overtime hours. Yes, that's what happens when you call in an emergency. Maybe don't clog your pipes. Sanders said the exact same work was done twice, but the second time was charged near double. Yes, because you get double for overtime. Do you not know this? If it was on a holiday, you might have to pay triple. He says it's not about the money, it's about him just standing behind his work. After refusing to pay the second bill, they showed the plumber the next morning reclogging the pipes. The following day, received a text message saying that he's on our property. He put a balloon in our gas trap and says he's not going to move it until he pays. Okay, that's a little over. You probably shouldn't do that, but I understand the sentiment for sure. They showed that the owners were given an hour to pay their bill before the plumber would leave for the weekend. If we would leave it in there, it would overflow the restaurant with dry, dirty water from the grease trap. Basically, we'd have to shut down. The bistro called the police to mediate. Probably should have called an attorney to mediate. Police are not good mediators. Not really trained to mediate stuff. They're trained to go after criminals, as they should be. um, the restaurant paid it under protest, and the plumber, Joel, the plumber, said over the phone that the restaurant has a history of being slow to make payments to his business in the past. So the police department said these types of matters are normally settled in small claims court, but Hedberg said he didn't want to go that route and instead took matters into his own hands. He said it wasn't worth pursuing in court. It wasn't worth his time. It just wasn't worth it for me. Although the bill was paid and the matter was settled, Sanders said the whole situation was ridiculous. And that's it. That's about it. He could have just said no. You are allowed to say no to customers who don't pay you. Just say no. Nope, I'm sorry. You do not pay me on time, and I will not be coming to your aid at this moment. Pay your last bill. Maybe we'll talk. But yeah, if you don't pay, they don't have to show up for you. So maybe remember that next time. I do think he went a little above and beyond, and he might get arrested for that at some point. But I understand his frustration 100%. And it's snowing and sticking outside. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Hope the roads are okay. Oh, this is kind of cool. Oh, that's not really cool. I guess somebody's stealing somebody's work here. The heck? No, I lost it. Crap. Oops. All right. 16 years as a graphic designer, 8 years as a photographer ruined by AI. And it says, I have been a digital artist since I was 10, learning to Photoshop. Taught myself everything, went to college, university, started my own business, created everything, and now everyone thinks my art is AI generated. And his art is beautiful. It's really cool. That's really neat. Very, very neat stuff. There's a text message thing that says, nice pics, but they feel AI. Somebody says they are. Somebody else isn't, and they're all accusing it of being AI. He says they're not. This one I know is not AI because I've seen it before. The one with the moons. This one you can tell that's not AI. That could happen. Although you might have fans underneath. That stinks. That stinketh. Feels Gouda says we changed from people not being able to discern between AI and actual art to people assuming everything is AI. I don't know what's worse. Jam Kabam says, I worked in a media business that this happened to one of my employees. She's an amazing artist, a special conceptual artist who has also done work for some gaming companies in the past, and we had to work experience from college joining us for the week. I introduced her to my colleague and asked her to show the wee girl got her work. She said, wow, these are cool. What AI program did you use? And she got pretty upset about it. Yeah, not everything is AI. Sometimes it's hard to tell. You could usually tell Photoshop pretty easy. Weird that this is the best one, the top one. Oh, but okay. This is from Wang Yu Karen. It's titled Karen got mad but can't. Your car is too close to my house. There is better spots. I will have you towed. TOID. Try me. You will lose. There is the wrong there. Your is the wrong your. Car is close to my house, too close to my house. Two is two, wrong two. I mean, geez. They are is better spots. I will have you towed, ribbit, ribbit. Try me, you will lose. Bad. It's so bad. Oh, this person is dumb or really bad. Recorder says, I will have you towed with a frog emoji. Oh. Milker's enthusiast says it's actually a bad parody of a message like someone not dented would have really hard time to mess it up that bad. Oh, that's terrible. Sorry, OP. Sorry you got that note. What a weirdo. That Karen is a weirdo. Next is overreacting. Here. From 6 months ago. So this is from Am I Overreacting? And it's entitled AIO. My friend gave my abusive ex my new phone number. No, absolutely not. Not cool. No, absolutely not cool. There's text messages. As a girl, WTF? Did you give my new number to my? Did you give? Well, it's a bad name for a guy. Joe. Bobby. Did you give Bobby my new number? Yeah, he DM'd me last night. So, YTF would you give him my number? You know, I literally changed my number because of that man. I know, but it's been like a year, plus he said he wanted to apologize. Dude, WTF is wrong with you? Deadass, I'm actually mad. What world would you want to talk to that man? I didn't mean anything bad by it. Sorry. He said he wanted to say sorry. Doesn't matter. It's not your place to give out somebody else's number. If somebody wants to contact somebody, you ask them for their number and then you give it to the person that they want to contact. That way it puts that in the other person's hands and they can contact them if they want to or not. And you're not responsible in any way. Holy crap, dude, I actually hate you for this. You're overreacting and that's not bad. It's not that bad. It is that wanging bad. What are you talking about? I changed my number because of that MFer. The MF was stalking me and you're still talking to him and giving him my new contact info. Bro, it's been a year. He's probably different now. What? Wang you do, genuinely. Yes, genuinely. No kidding. Oh my goodness. No, this guy isn't even listening. What the heck? What is wrong with people? Seriously. I'm genuinely not sure if I'm tweaking. I used to date a guy about a year ago. This man was toxic to a T. Stalking, threats, emotional abuse, everything was said was bad. He doesn't live in my country, but he came a few months ago, few times when we were still okay, but I never invited him to my actual home. We always went to Airbnbs because even when things were okay, I didn't want him to have my home address. Dude. And when everything started going downhill, he generally stalked my address with all the info he found out about me, flew from his country to mine, and came to my house. That was dead as one of the scariest times of my life, and I generally moved on after that. I changed my number. I did everything so he wouldn't come again, but apparently someone I considered a friend has, for one, been talking to him, and for two, gave that man my phone number knowing damn well everything he did to me last time. You can't really um, control who other people talk to, but yeah, they shouldn't give out your phone number or talk about you to them. I'm so unbelievably mad. I thought I finally found peace and I've been healing over everything only to go right back to feeling unsafe again. But my friend is acting like I'm crazy because it's been a year and he's probably changed. AIO. No, not. And I would never talk to her again. Yeah. Cigarette breath said, never talk to her again. That's where I got that. I'll admit it when I'm not clairvoyant. Basically the same situation, but he tried to kill me instead of stalking. My friend would never, ever, ever in a million years give him my number. She's honestly your enemy. Wang that bitch. Somebody told her to change her number. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that is not your friend, honey. That person is not your friend, and you don't have to put up with that. Oops, didn't mean to do that. This is from Server Life. It's called Got Written Up Today. I will share the write up. She's sharing the. It's got her name blacked out and her department name. That's the first one. Sarah was caught writing on the 86 board on 5/26 that we were out of the will to live. This action was told her that it was inappropriate. Cease writing negative comments on communication boards. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, honey. It seems silly, but have you done this before? Have you done it before, sweetie? Elderberry Master 46 or Elderberry Master says it's been on every restaurant whiteboard ever. Nothing new. Incinitus says, way to kick someone while they're down, too. Oh, you've got low morale? Well, Wayne, here's a write up. Edit, from my own experience, I guess you work somewhere corporate or mom and pop that's failing, and the owners are blaming it on the staff rather than acknowledging the fact that the restaurant is a hobby for them they thought would run itself with little to no upkeep. Yeah, that really stinks. Boru. Woohoo, Boru. It's one of my favorites, you know that. All right. This might deserve to be elsewhere. It's from Best of Redditor Updates. I, 23 female, purposely ignored what my husband, 24 male, told me he wanted for Father's Day. Now he's ignoring me and won't accept my apologies. What can I do to make it up for him? Don't ignore him next time? Don't ignore him ever, to be honest. Original post was June 20th, 2023. My husband and I have been together for the past 9 years. We have 2 kids, an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. For Mother's Day, all I wanted was a free day. I wanted my husband to take the kids out somewhere for the day so I could be home alone and relax. Instead, he got me and the kids tickets to have a fun day out, and it was fun. Me and the kids had a good time, but it irked me that he gave me the exact opposite of what I asked for. Real honestly, in a situation like this, you should do both. Buy the tickets, let the kids have a good time. Go with them, because it sounds like he went home. He didn't even go. And then arrange for a day for your wife to be at home alone. For Father's Day, my husband also wanted a free day. He could stay home and game all day. I think he got that for Mother's Day. I think that was his Mother's Day gift. He games all the time with his friends. He'll get home from work and maybe spend the time between then and dinner with the kids before going to his office to game for a few hours with friends. Instead, I got him and the kids cards for an arcade an hour away with a ton of tokens. I gave them the cards during dinner Saturday so he and the kids could leave early and spend all day playing with them. I got my free day at home and he got the kids to make a lot of memories together. He and I got into a fight when the kids went to bed. He was angry that I ignored what he wanted for Father's Day. I was angry that he didn't see that he'd done the same thing to me on Mother's Day. He's been ignoring me since and won't accept my apologies. You shouldn't be apologizing. I wouldn't be apologizing. Edit. Some people are thinking that me and my husband and our kids went out for Mother's Day. We didn't. I took the kids out for the day. He played video games for a day with his friends. Edit 2. I can't believe I have to say this. I do not hate, resent, or any other way dislike my children. My point is not that going a day without them is terrible. I hate it. My point is that it really sucks asking for a thing and being given the opposite. Somebody says, that's hilarious. I wouldn't apologize at all. Exactly. I wouldn't either. Tell him that to come to talk to you when he's done being a piss baby. She says, I really don't feel sorry. I feel like it was justified and I just want him to stop ignoring me. He'll stop ignoring you eventually, dude. When he wants a meal or something. Badass said there's no way he didn't know what he was doing when he set up a day with you and the kids on Mother's Day without him. Or I guess he's legitimately insane. I feel crazy reading these comments accusing you of resenting your kids or being a bad wife or for getting petty. Like, yeah, it was petty. People get petty when they're mistreated and taken advantage of. And now he's lying to you and saying it's not the same. It's not what he was trying to do, please. Any husband with half a brain knows that Mother's Day is a holiday and father or husband participates in actively, not just planning or buying, but it's present with you, with the kids, trying to give you time off. It's what he wanted for Father's Day. He knew you wanted it for Mother's Day. Exactly. Yeah, that was petty. I would be petty too. If my partner got me an obligation and got themselves a day of rest, the two of you need to talk it out, but he needs to own up what he did. Well, P says, I don't understand how people think I resent my kids. On both days, the kids had so much fun. When they came back from the arcade, they wouldn't stop telling me how much fun they had and showing me the prizes they helped win. When we had our fight, it was after they were in bed. They've picked up on him ignoring me, but I've not told them why, just that he's busy with work and is cranky because of it. That man Slim says some people that are responding to this are teenagers. There's no age limit. I'm not surprised you're getting dumb responses and accusations like of hating your kids. And she replies, there are many accusations of me hating my kids and calling me selfish for wanting to have a day to myself instead of spending it with my kids, as if I have an infinite amount of energy and the time of day to cook, clean, take care of the kids, and have time for myself when I don't. Yeah. Update. October 12th, 2023, 4 months later. People keep asking me to update, so here you go. We're in the process of getting a divorce. That's sad. Now, please stop asking me for an update. I don't know I didn't know that my post would get so popular. People would decide to repost to other platforms. If I had known that, I wouldn't have made it post at all. No consequences. Court Fritz says, "Thank you for updating us. I'm sorry you had to go through this. Did you ever see the reason about the Mother's Day equals Father's Day gift, or did he remain willfully obtuse to the end?" She says he still hasn't, and when he did it to me, it was different when I did the same thing to him. Leoka says, "I'm sorry. I hope you are able to heal and find someone you don't have to have an eye for an eye in order to get them to understand what you need." And she says, "Just hoping to find someone with basic empathy. I did all that, and he still doesn't understand why I was upset with my gift." He says, "At least you can relax while he has the kiddos." She says, "I'll relax when they're at my parents' house since he doesn't want custody of them." Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's a twist. One welcome says, "I would eat my own tongue before I apologize to him. Make nothing up to him. He did he make Mother's Day up to you? Please tell all these grown ass men who manage their lives in any other aspect of this is just lazy." She says he never apologized for Mother's Day. She said, so one welcome answers, "Throw away the whole husband away. My ex forgot Christmas, Mother's Day, birthdays. He actually said he was planning. It doesn't get any better. It only got worse. I promise you there's no freedom on the other side. There is freedom on the other side." Oh, Pizetz says that's a plan. And when asked why they didn't get counseling, she said he refused to go many times until he told me he wanted a divorce all of a sudden. It was, "We don't have to go that far. What happened to death do us part? Why don't we go talk to someone for the kids?" And that ship sailed long ago. May 14th, 2024, 7 months after the first update and a year after the original post. "Mother's Day is infinitely better now that I'm single than it was when I was married. I didn't wake up to a messy kitchen that I was expected to clean after eating a subpar breakfast. I didn't have to fight with anyone over what a gift I was given. I didn't have to cook dinner after an exhausting day where I got no help or thanks from my ex. I didn't have to do anything else that I came to expect on Mother's Day. I didn't feel the stress I felt every other Mother's Day. I got to have a lazy morning in bed with my kids. We made pancakes for brunch. They gave me cards they made in school, and we watched movies on the couch all day and ordered pizza for dinner, and it was wonderful." Well, why didn't you order pizza last time, girl? Your average plebeian says, "I'm still stuck on how that whack ass ex husband thought his gift was different in any way. I understand his functioning with a crippling lack of brain cells from terminal entitlement, but I can't eternal entitlementitis. But I never really understand the sort of logic. Did the same thing happen to me that I did to you, but you did me wrong and I did everything right?" It's frying my synopsis. Okay. Well, that was good. That was a good one. And finally, we have Made Me Smile. Second one because the first one we're reading this month. So tune in to Biddy Brunch Bunch Monday through Thursday at noon Eastern Time. Or you can watch later. That's fine too. I don't usually edit them at all. I don't have time. I barely have time for what I'm doing. Okay, so this is. Oh, I gotta do this. Okay, finally we have Made Me Smile. It's the second one because the first one we're going to read later this month, or we already have. I'm not sure. Oh no, we're going to read it later this month. So you can tune in for that. Biddy Bunch on every day. Well, there's Tuesday through Friday, normally at noon. For reading Reddit and reality TV updates. This is entitled "Accidentally Said I Love You" at the end of a call with an important client yesterday. I heard him giggle as I hung up and I was mortified. Today he emailed me this. Oh, I've had this happen to me. Love you. And she says, "Hey, just wanted to say that I didn't mean to laugh at you when you accidentally signed off our call with a love you. I just found it funny because I've definitely done that before. I know what happens. I'm glad you have enough love in your life that that response comes naturally. If anything, you should be proud of that. Have a great weekend. We'll follow up my call with Chris on Wednesday as discussed." Oops. Why did I do that? That was dumb. That were dumb. I have actually had that happen to me. I was on a work call with a guy, helping him out, as you do, customer service, At the end of the call, he says, "I love you." And so I said, "I love you too." He just starts laughing. And this is like a higher up in GM. I wasn't working for GM at the time, but it was like a GM executive. He's like, "Oh my God, I didn't mean to say that. I was thinking about calling my wife next time." I said, "Well, it's good to know that you love your wife." And my boss goes, "What was that all about?" And I said, "He said he loved me, so I answered you." So it does happen, even to the best of us. Grumpy says it happens more than if you're working from home and your wife, partner, kids are floating about. 99% of the time, kids think it's funny, endearing, or they say they've done it too. Work in IT, contacts / supplier management. It does. OP says I do work from home, and the last person I talked to was my husband. So it had also been a long day. Raina Erie says it was a nice email, loved it. Looks like you're working with a nice person. Somebody said that was a deleted person said I was on an emergency repair project at a power plant with a commute that was 14 15-hour days, 7 days a week. At the same time, I was seriously deep cleaning the house for my wedding in my bit of spare time. I accidentally texted the head of the plant engineer, "I love you," instead of my soon to be wife. He responded, "I really liked working with you, but it has only been a week, and I think it's too early for it in the relationship for that." Wanging gold. I went from embarrassed to laughing my ass off while scrubbing baseboards. Oh, that's great. It's okay. Spread the love around. Spread the love around. That's what we're here for, right? To spread love. Spread love, not hate. Don't be one of those. All right. Well, that's all I got for the day. Thank you for tuning in. And I love you. I love all my biddies. I will see you on Tuesday with a regular episode. Bye.